star date 1414. Tonight, a star will be in the sky, just above Venus.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, July 16, 2015. Time for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination episode 739er.
This is No Agenda.
On the front lines of the Troika Triumph, and once again broadcasting live from the central storage of all Russian gas and oil, Rotterdam, the Netherlands. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm waiting for the 12 AX7s to warm up, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Wait a minute, what were the 12 AXE7? Were those, what were those?
The 12 AX7 was the fundamental tube for
The
most,
tube, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And what was it used for? Amps?
Yeah. Used for everything.
We were just talking just before we started the show about, remember how it was when you'd be on the phone with somebody and then the lines would get crossed back in the analog days?
Hello.
Hey, who's this? How did you get on? I don't know. What?
Well, when I was a kid, we still had party lines.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And most people don't even know what a party line is anymore.
I think you need to explain.
At one point, I guess, even before my time, I guess party lines would consist of maybe 5 or 6 houses. A party line was the way they had the circuit set up. They had to go through two or three houses.
Right, I remember this.
And so it was the same line, but somehow, I don't know how they multiplexed out.
They would have one ring for house 1, 2 rings for house 2? No?
No, that was all somehow done, some private channeling or something, so your number would only ring when your number was called.
No.
It wasn't like it rang all the numbers, because then you'd have everyone listening in on everything.
Right.
You would run into a situation where you'd pick up the phone and the party line was yakking away. And then you have to, oh God, the party line's on, so you have to hang up.
I remember this. Oh, do you remember what a busy signal sounds like?
I remember what a bit. Sure, I do. So the party lines. So you'd have this. When I was a kid, we had one other line that was the party, and I don't know where these people were, and I don't think anyone ever exchanged this information. Where are you? I'm over here, and it was just like they were annoying, so you never talked to.
And you couldn't sex people up back in the day on the party line.
You could, if you don't mind people listening in.
Right.
So I did, being a sneaky little kid, I was just a little kid. I figured that if you unscrew the carbon mic, which was at the base of the phone, you could unscrew the top and then take the microphone out. You could usually lift up the thing and listen in, and
no one would know you would lift it up.
Well, that's remains to be seen, because there was the girl and her boyfriend. They were always yakking and talking about lovey-dovey stuff. And so I'd listen into this if I caught it. You want to make a call and you lift the phone and then you hear them and you hang up. And it made it clear that you hung up. And when you were making calls, you'd hear these people hanging up all the time. But if you took the little thing off, you might be able to minimize this problem if you were careful. But apparently this girl could always hear it when I was doing this. And she would say, I remember her saying, "Hang up the phone, you little bastard."
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Nice. Yeah. Well, anyway, get ready to head on back.
Oh, yes. And what's your final report there from the Big E?
Final report. Well, from the Big E. Hold on, let me open my Big E folder for a second. Let me see what I've got going on here.
Big E.
Well, everybody has, of course, been all over the Greece thing.
The Greeks.
And now it seems so obvious that this is going to take another 3 years. They've done this kind of smart thing where Fifi Lagarde jumps in and says, well, we need to have assurances. Without this, we can't, she just goes, I can't do the French anymore. Do a French for me. Get me into France. Get me into the French mode. Qu'est-ce que quitte là? Oh, I'm Fifi Lagarde. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You don't do one either, apparently.
No, it's pretty shitty.
But let her go on. Go on with your story.
Yeah. Well, so a couple of things that have happened. Now, as predicted, Greece
do you want to do the Greek rundown? I got one from Democracy Now!
Yeah, but I'm the boots on the ground. How can that ever be better than Amy Goodman?
Well, let's just... Can't.
It's impossible. All right, Amy Goodman.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org.
The War and Peace Report, warandpeacereport.org.
Hello, everybody.
Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
Hello, Amy.
Greece and its European creditors have reached a deal that'll force...
I love how she says creditors. Who are they? You know, apparently it's not important to the story who the creditors are.
Greece to accept sweeping German-backed austerity measures in order to receive a third bailout and remain in the Eurozone. Provided the Greek parliament accepts the terms, the deal paves the way for a 3-year bailout worth up to $96 billion. After European leaders pressed Greece to accept an austerity package seen as amounting to a surrender of its fiscal sovereignty, the hashtag #ThisIsACoup's trended on social media. Talks continued overnight until Greece agreed to immediately implement measures including pension reform and the privatization of its energy transmission network. The deal comes after the Greek parliament voted Saturday to accept austerity reforms proposed by Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras just days after Greek voters rejected similar terms in an historic referendum.
Well, as usual, John, brilliant minds think alike. You have the perfect clip for my backgrounder. So, yes, this, of course, is what we were expecting to happen, was the securitization of 50 billion euros worth of assets. And what's interesting about this, you read everywhere, it's a new thing set up somewhere in Luxembourg. Don't pay attention to it. Don't worry. The assets are all good. So pretty much there's a bank vault or a safety deposit box, and it has all these pink slips in it for the energy distribution network, which is exactly what Putin wants to have. It's exactly what Gazprom needs for their Turkish stream. Now, who holds this? Because you think the way they say it is, Luxembourg is this thing, and don't worry about it. So, we know how to do this. It turns out it is held by a fund created by, and I guess it's some kind of secured paper, by a bank known as KfW. And KfW is owned entirely by the German government. It operates out of Luxembourg. But it says, and this bank, this is an interesting bank, in 2008, October 22nd, just before things started to come apart with Lehman Brothers, this very bank transferred over 300 million euros of funds to Lehman Brothers. It never really been explained what that was about, but it apparently was some kind of, last-ditch effort or whatever. So these are the guys that have all these assets. So, yeah, the KfW is a bank, but it's owned 100% by the German people and controlled by the German government.
I would assume if they gave that money to Lehman Brothers, they got something for it.
Yeah, well,
Lehman Brothers handed something over that these guys wanted that was necessary to keep this bull crap going on.
I agree. So, this kind of sets the stage. Now, so what people are supposed to be angry about is, well, our tax money, we're going to go try and bail those Greeks out again with our tax money, blah, 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 blah. That's the Dutch, by the way. It's exactly how they sound. And so they've done this brilliant thing, bringing Lagarde in, good old Fifi. She said, oh, well, it can only be about 50. We can't put our 30 in, unless we have to be able to enforce the deal because wir sind der Sturmbannführer. Literally, so talking about enforcing the austerity. Oh my goodness. Hello, Greeks.
Shut up, slave.
We are here to enforce austerity. It's true. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I think what's happening now is it's kind of good because everyone's focused on, will the IMF put their money in? And then you kind of forget all it's our tax money. So it's smartly done. You just see the whole kind of focus and conversation change all in one go.
Tax money.
Yeah. Now, while this is taking place in the background, the EU voted on the TTIP, the trade agreement between the United States and the EU, and they approved it. They approved the mandate to go and complete this deal based upon whatever outline there is, and no one's talking about it. No, did you hear anything about it?
Not a thing.
And so I learned.
You think of all the places you think that since I was monitoring Democracy Now, you think they'd have something.
Yeah, you got real soft. This is like happening with Skype for some reason. Honey, you're soft. Can you Talk a little.
I just turned it up.
Okay, good.
But I'm jacked way up on the gain here. This isn't good.
Yeah, jack it down just a tad.
Tad?
Yeah.
One tad.
Okay, one tad jacked. Thank you.
One tad down.
One tad down. Hey, you know why it's called the TTIP?
Okay, no, there's a joke here. Go on.
Oh, if you set it up as a joke here, then the joke never works. That's not nice.
Well, you've done that to me, and you stepped on my punchlines.
Hey, you know why it's called the TTIP?
No, why, Adam?
Just the tip, Europe. We're only going to put the tip in, okay, baby? See, it falls flat when you. No, oh well.
Go on, just go on.
That's the one I wrote.
You wrote a joke.
Can you tell? Oh, man. And of course, we've had nothing but rain since the last time we spoke here in the Netherlands. And today, lo and behold, beautiful, 80 degrees, sunny, and I'm in the autistic cave here in my kid's apartment.
Dad moved in.
Funny how she hasn't been around. Yeah. Oh,
I'm sure.
So, there was some massive media news. So as I do when I come over for a trip to the Netherlands, I had dinner with Patricia, ex-wife number one, mother of my child. And now, Patricia's really good at one thing.
Publicity.
Yes, exactly.
She's really good at it.
She's dynamite at it. And she has stuff to sell. She's got, sexy lingerie for mature women. So I get it. I said, I'll book a table. She books a table, and it's a place called the Harbor Club. Does it the name kind of already imply what kind of place this is?
Yeah, douchebag central.
Bingo, boom, shakalaka, baby. So I'm like, but let's do it at 6:00. Maybe there won't be a lot of people there. And I show up. The table's right in the middle of the restaurant. It's perfectly arranged. And so, of course, I took a selfie. She said, take a selfie. It's okay, I take a selfie. I sent it to her. 2 seconds later, she puts it on Facebook. I swear to God.
A world record.
It was unbelievable. I'm like, what did you just do?
Yeah, but automatic thing set up. Somebody set it up.
Yeah, she said, no, she said, I put it on there. She said, but I put it without a caption so anybody can guess what it's about. I'm like, oh, you are the master now. I'm like, okay. But we had a good time. We're laughing. And the paparazzi are standing all over the chat. Hey, can we? Would you guys give us a quote? Like, get the fuck away from my table, asshole. That's how brazen they are.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So then they set up across the way, and I don't know. They got some footage of us sitting around. Fine. But I did learn something from the old bird. She is officially now called a major. Are you familiar with this term amongst mature women as a major?
Never heard it.
I hadn't heard it either. And apparently the scale is number 1, we have MILF. MILF. Okay. Then number 2, we have, do you know what comes at one rank higher, John, after MILF?
Double MILF?
No, but I have seen that one. No, cougar.
Ah, yes, the cougar.
Yes. Say that again, the cougar. Say it.
The cougar.
And what comes after the cougar?
Major.
Yes, exactly. I had no idea.
I don't know what does it refer to? Major pain in the ass?
It's a major. I think it's a MILF plus 20 years. I'm not high. I'm telling you the truth. No, it's a MILF plus 20 years. That's when you become a major.
A MILF plus 20.
Yeah,
but you could be a MILF at 18.
Well, yeah, could be, but that's not kind of what the category is about. You wouldn't even
be a cougar at 38.
No.
But you could be a major by your definition, which makes no sense.
I'm just passing on the information.
Okay. Well, and what's the point of the nomenclature? What is it? What is?
I don't know.
Who uses it?
Apparently, there's this whole. Her boyfriend is 26.
Okay.
She's 66. Let me just repeat that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So there's a whole thing amongst like
mature people.
Yeah.
The guy's a little naive, I'm sure, but it's beside the point.
Yeah. So, but that's where this comes from. There's an entire movement of late 20-year-old men who are
20-year-old males think of I'm hanging out with a major.
Yes.
And the other guy says, "Really? I didn't know you were into Army guys." That's what I think. Somebody said that to me.
Hey, look, I'm just passing it on. I just wanted to tell you I learned something. That's all.
She's going to make it to Colonel, that's for sure.
It's no doubt. And then finally, just a kind of a request. Do we have any listeners in Africa, like Uganda specifically? Do you think?
I don't think we have Ugandans. We have Ghana.
Right. Well, I went to lunch with
South Africa. I think we have that too.
I went to lunch with Tiffany, who, as you know, was born in Uganda.
Tiffany is your other sister.
Yeah, she's the middle child, so she's 2 years younger than I am.
Right.
And so it's just the two of us. We hadn't had dinner or lunch, the two of us. I can't even remember how long ago. And, then she said, and Tiffany is definitely not like the person who would come out and say, "Hey, I'd really like to go to Uganda and go see where I was born and go look at the house where we live." And I'm like, okay, wow. Good idea. I'm in.
Oh, you're going to go?
Hell yeah. The two of us, that would be hilarious.
Uh-huh.
What?
Uganda?
Yeah.
Okay. They have, when Mike Elgin was doing a twit years ago, he was just a guest. Like I happened to be on the show with him when he was a guest, and he was coming in from somewhere in Africa, like Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the best internet connection, no latency, beautiful fidelity I've really heard for years.
I think I remember that. We may have even talked about it. In fact,
I kept grilling him about it, thinking that he was across the street or something.
Huh.
And I think it was in Tanzania. But I think that you could probably get thinking about it, you can probably get some outrageously nice connection, probably through government resources.
It's really
show from down
it's
there.
It's really interesting. I'm talking about going on a spiritual journey with my sister, and here's Dvorak. What about the show? Let me think.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You're going to go see some old house that you lived in as a kid. And to you, this is a spiritual journey.
Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break, John, please. Hey.
Yes, and you could do the show from there, and I think that's a great idea.
It would be fun. Is it dangerous in Uganda right now? I know I shouldn't be saying, "Hey, I'm bi-curious."
State Department website, they'll tell you.
I wouldn't be saying, "Hey, I'm bi-curious. How you doing?" That's probably not a good idea.
Don't do that.
That's not a good idea. Have you been following this New Horizons the Pluto photos?
Yeah.
I'm calling bullcrap on this, man. What is this compressed images? It's Photoshop. What this mission control room? Look at like 4 desks shoved together. This one guy's freaking out. He's hugging this poor lady who's like, I just came in for the casting.
Woman.
I just came in for the casting. What is this? That's not a real mission control center.
This is a mission that's 10 years old. It's a decade old.
That's what I mean. I want to see old crap. I want to see gray front on the tech. All right. For the dude's name Ben, or anyone interested, I do have an entire.
Did you see the post? I actually retweeted it that Scott Johnson did. That was showed that little what everyone's describing as a heart is actually the exact outline of the dog Pluto.
Oh, really?
No, it's actually very funny to superimpose the dog Pluto onto that.
So that's what NASA does. They throw in a little joke. Hey, watch this. Make it look like Pluto. I have this PDF, which it's kind of cool. It's the details, complete down with photos, schematics, everything of all of the transmitter technology on this New Horizons. And so what we're seeing now are what NASA is saying. Oh, these are compressed images. In fact, I have the quote here. The image has been compressed to reduce its file size for transmission to Earth. In high contrast areas of the image, features as small as 3 miles across can be seen. Some lower contrast detail is obscured by the compression of the image, which may make some areas appear smoother than they really are. The uncompressed version still resides in New Horizons' computer memory and is scheduled to be transmitted at a later date. ... How could what? They don't have a Gantt chart? And here's where we transmit the high res. I'd like to see the high res, but now
they might have a Gantt chart. You don't know that they don't.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to give us a date. So they have two 12-watt X-band transmitters. So I believe that this is possible from that distance, but you're pulling signals out of the ether that are so minimal.
Well, you got one of those giant monster, parabolic guys that are like 100 feet, 100, even bigger.
Yes, it must be. Well, I think on X-band they have
an array of them, so they should probably be able to pull that signal in.
But I think they do it from multiple locations with X-band. Yeah, it's almost like a reverse kind of peer-to-peer, kind of like a torrent, I think. But the downlink data rates, this is why, if this is all true, this is why it's taken so long. They have a 16-bit control register, which can provide downlink data rates minimum 6.3578 bits per second, maximum 104,167. So it's about 100 kilobit down at max speed, but at worst it would be about 6 kilobits. So probably somewhere in the middle. So that's going to take a long time.
Yeah. And they'd be lucky to get the whole signal. Now, I don't know what the trajectory of this thing is, but is it going into deep space and forever never going to be heard from again?
Oh, I hope so.
Or is it flipping around?
We need more fun images. I hope so.
They're not going to be able to send anything from that distance.
Oh, please. So this showed up. The NASA is doing a simulation of people living on Mars because, of course, we're never going to go back to the moon, but we'll keep trying for Mars. And this report made me laugh. They're showing off this dome where these guys are going to live for 2 years.
Plug for the CBS show Under the Dome.
Oh, really? Oh, it doesn't surprise me. Okay.
The big island of Hawaii is not a place that would remind most folks of dead, isolated planet Mars.
On Mars, with a similar isolation, a similar living condition, only...
It's a third the gravity.
We can only simulate certain things here.
Still not convinced Hawaii can look like Mars?
That is breathtaking. That looks exactly like what I see from the Mars rover, the surface.
It's remarkably similar.
That's incredible.
Okay, here's Mars beamed back from Curiosity's camera last month, and here is Hawaii today.
Yeah, it's actually virtually identical to the same material, volcanic rock that they found on there.
Hey, how many times can they say it?
I don't know. It's as if they're trying to give us a hint.
And then there's this Kickstarter for our favorite science guy, Bill Nye.
Send him to Mars. Yes. Where is it? Give me the URL.
Now here we go, jumping science, jumping it all over. Like bumping around the town like when you're driving a Range Rover. It's the sound of science. The sound of science. Science. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill.
Is this insane or what? I mean, our jingles aren't even that good at points.
Wow, it sounds like the Weenie in the Butt.
Yeah, exactly. You've been butt slapped.
Does that scene look familiar to you? Hi, I'm David Alvarado.
And I'm Jason Sussberg. We were middle school students in the 1990s when Bill Nye taught us about the rock cycle and climate change. He impacted us in monumental ways.
Really? In high school? I don't think Bill Nye was talking about climate change then, son. These guys are like 30. Please. You insult my intelligence, you. It must stop immediately. Yeah, they're trying to raise $650,000. Yeah, good luck. They already have 100. They have 100.
They're going to send Bill Nye to Mars.
Wouldn't that be great? That I would also support. That would be great. Let's see. Of course, on the news everywhere. It's incredible how these Kardashians. A couple of years ago, when we were talking about them, no one knew them. And now all over the European news that Caitlyn Jenner received an ESPY.
I have kind of a backgrounder from either Extra or the Insider or one of these shows. Play the Caitlyn Jenner and the ESPYs. And I have a commentary to make and a prediction that goes into the Red Book.
Today, we've got Caitlyn's kids and why her 3 ex-wives won't be there. Here's Jerry.
Tonight's her night. Who will she wear?
Mom has that.
What will she say? Will she walk her first red carpet? Caitlyn set to take the ESPYs, and the whole world will be watching. This night, so big, Jenner's reportedly hired Angelina Jolie's stylist to dress her up.
All of a sudden, I am the authority on hair and makeup.
Poking fun at that part of her transition in this brand new I Am Kate sneak peek.
Sneak peek?
Change your hair?
Upskirt, baby.
Some reports saying Caitlyn will skip the press line, only appearing on stage, dodging the controversy over receiving the Arthur Ashe Courage Award.
Enjoy the moment.
TMZ reporting Jenner's 3 exes, including Chris, will not be there at her request. A source saying they're just not her
drama.
Family.
Are you planning to attend the ESPYs when she receives the Arthur Ashe Award?
Brody breaking that news to Mario.
And now, back to real news.
Wow, TMZ, John. TMZ.
Everybody's all over it.
Right. So,
the Courage Award.
Yeah.
All right, here's what's going on. I think this guy has learned a lot from the Kardashian woman.
I am all over that. Yes.
Genius.
Yep.
And he is playing the media like nobody else.
I totally agree.
I was watching him, and he still walks around like a jock. He's throwing stuff behind his back.
And I might point out, is not attempting a voice.
That doesn't bother with the voice. Here's what my prediction is. I've run this by.
We may have the same. We may have the same prediction. I had a conversation with Brian the Gay Crusader about it. Go.
He is going to do this shtick for a couple of years, as long as he makes money. As soon as that reality show starts to falter, or even during the reality show, he's turning back into a man.
I agree, and I'll tell you why. I believe this entire show is really an elaborate documentary about living trans.
I agree with that too. And when he turns back into a man, he's going to make comment. He'll be able to best-selling book.
Yeah, and he'll be able to show what it's really like to come out trans and all the ridicule. This is why he wasn't coming out and saying, media, the way you treated me was not appropriate, because everyone made fun of him. They were, and especially magazines. He never condemned them for that, ever, because he needs them.
Well, I think he's also going to reflect on being a woman and then comparing it to being a man. I think he's got everything going on here. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a spectacular
that's another
reversal.
Book. That's the second book, Woman versus Man. Oh, yeah. This guy, you're right, John. You're totally right. Keep going.
When it happens, and because he hasn't changed his, there's something about elite athletes, which he was, and I guess he maintains a certain. He still plays.
How about who a real hero is Renee? What was it? Renee Richards. Remember?
Oh, that's interesting. Yes.
Yeah, tennis player. Take a look at Renee Richards, double E.
And so he is still acting like a punk jock. He's not. There's no femininity involved. And he gets to have he has a nice, expensive facelift to the top of the line, which is a tax write-off.
Always a good thing to have. Yep.
He is just. This is a setup that the media and the public are being used.
Yes, and the LGBTQIAP community is being abused.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Exploited.
I'm with you.
It'll be a while, though. It's going to be
years. It can be years.
It could be years. He might get sick of this, but he didn't get unless he gets his dick removed and his balls cut off.
Yeah, not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Sincere.
It's not going to happen.
No, it's never going to happen. Of course not. You just have those bags taken out of his chest, tightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
Back to being a guy, and then he can go on to barber wall, go again with these interviewers and go.
He can also.
Than I thought it would be to be a woman.
That's right.
It was harder than I thought it would be to be.
That's right. Yeah. This is what Brian and I were talking about. But yeah, we should honor a real trans, Renee Richards, born Richard Raskind. Now that's a story. How come that's not a movie? Maybe it is. Is it a movie?
I think it has been.
Maybe
it has been.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, I see Second Serve.
I think it might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, this guy's getting on my nerves.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. I'll have him taken out. Cap his knees.
But it's all the high end. This is the highest of high end. This woman, I'm sure is behind it, the Kardashian mom,
Kris Jenner,
is a genius.
Yeah, she is. Totally. You know, a friend of mine sent me a note. There was a note, maybe on Facebook, I can't remember, but he's been investing in high-tech companies, and he's been in the music business for a long time. And there's just some random company that he was looking at, and they had made $28 million off of one app. It was a Kardashian app, and it wasn't the the one where you can put different clothing on Kim. This was just some smaller second or third tier Kardashian app. $28 million.
Well, we're in the wrong business.
Well, hello. We've known that. Nah, it's all right.
It's okay.
I think getting your Adam's apple shaved sucks. It hurts. Doesn't seem like
well, you got to do what you got to do. This is serious money involved here.
Yeah. Well, we'll follow it. There's something big going on in Texas, and I have a number of friends and cultural attachés in the Texas medical community. Let me see. Where did I have this? Yeah. This is what's going on. I think by now it's probably national news.
Today, House Speaker John Boehner called for an investigation into Planned Parenthood and its handling of organs from aborted fetuses.
Yeah. The conversation was recorded at a restaurant by two activists posing as biotech employees interested in obtaining fetal organs for research, which is legal. Unaware she was being taped, Planned Parenthood's Senior Director of Medical Services, Dr. Deborah Nucatola, described how she performs abortions to preserve key body parts for that research. Anti-abortion activists say the tape suggests that Planned Parenthood is harvesting that fetal tissue for profit, which is illegal.
Planned Parenthood says it is only trying to help women who want to donate fetal tissue after abortions. And just last year, Scott, NIH funded 160 different projects that used fetal tissue to research treatments for everything from HIV to glaucoma.
So nice counter PR piece, not very objective the way I heard it. And of course, I saw the video, and it's pretty clear in this video. They're talking about they're proper buyers, and they're very interested, and they want to know pricing, and they talk about how they are very careful to try, if the baby is breached, to flip it around and get it. If you can get the head out, you can get all the rest of the body and the organs out. It's really partial birth abortion is what you're talking about. And how you then crush parts of the carcass to get the organs out. Oh yeah, it's you sit there and you go like, well,
it's ghoulish.
I'm used to hearing crazy stuff about emergency rooms and things, and I find it very interesting. So I'm not, even I was a little put off by the conversation. And so what I am interested in is, where is this showing up on the balance sheet? And I went into Planned Parenthood of Texas. I got their Form 990. It could be lumped in with other. But you're not allowed to sell that.
Crushed babies, line 10.
You're not allowed to sell it for profit. There are real laws about this.
Selling it for profit and selling it are not the same thing.
Correct. But if it's not on the books at all, it's very possible they have some secondary vehicle they're selling this to, or maybe as they say,
books
in the. Well, I don't know if they're cooking the books.
They're pocketing the money.
I have the feeling that the way it works is they have what they call providers, okay? And you'll hear her talking about this in the video. I can't play the video because you really need the subtitles to hear everything and have all the context of it. But the providers are these surgical services companies that they pay, they've got $4 million to this one, $2 million to this one. These are the guys who actually do the work. Planned Parenthood, as far as I understand, usually don't do the actual work. They contract that out. So now you have the Affordable Care Act that, the insurance pays for a lot, maybe not, I don't know, but I thought the Affordable Care Act made this, mandatory coverage. Then the provider does this. I'm saying it's actually the other way around. The provider does this. The provider, they get the money from the insurance company or however it's paid for. And I believe that they then pass on cash back to Planned Parenthood. So it could be this middleman construct. I'm not entirely sure, but let's put it this way. There's no line item on the Form 990s that says baby parts.
Yeah, you have to get the real books to figure out what's going on.
But the good news is, next time those Planned Parenthood guys try to roust me on the street, I'm just going to say, excuse me, do you have any baby livers for sale today? Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah. And then, you should then follow that sentence with, they're delicious.
Nice. So the New York Times, the way they report this, headline, House Republicans to investigate, of course, put the Republicans right up there, to investigate Planned Parenthood over fetal tissue. But in the video, she's talking about hearts, lungs, livers, between $30 and $100 a pop, per item. So one baby is a profit center of, potentially $500 to $1,000. I'm sorry, it's not a baby. It's an aborted fetus.
It's a crushed
fetus.
Smashed.
Now with crickets. Yeah, I'm telling you. But what kind of world do we live in?
It's getting worse by the minute.
This is brutal. It's just brutal, I tell you. Brutal. Ugh, I don't know what to do about it.
Well, what did you expect?
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I've got some good news and bad news. This is just a little off topic, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So we probably should wrap back around to Greece and talk a little bit about Iran.
Yeah.
But this one, I promised in the newsletter I'd mention this. This is, I thought, was kind of good news, and it was an interesting analysis on CNBC, which is talking about stocks and the stock market. And then this guy came out with this little gem on comic books.
Welcome back. It has been a fairy tale ride for Disney investors. The stock hitting an all-time high just today. More good things could be in store when the new Marvel movie Ant-Man hits theaters next week. The film is projected to pull in $60 million in its opening weekend. Still, CNBC.com senior editor-at-large Eric Chemi says the era of the comic book movie could be in jeopardy. Eric, is Ant-Man the beginning of the end?
I mean, Ant-Man has to be the beginning of the end because it's Ant-Man. This is a comic that's coming off the bench. It's not a starting lineup type of guy. This is not Spider-Man or Superman. And if you look at the data going back several years, we've already seen the peak in the number of comic book movies that are out there because it was 2011 when we saw over a dozen movies. Now it's only about a handful. And if you go back the last couple of years, none of them had an ROI over 100%, but 13 movies from 2000 until 2012 had ROIs over 100%. So the numbers, they're getting worse in quantity, they're getting worse in profits, and if you look at the sequels, they get worse and worse every single time. So I know we have a couple charts on that just showing that, look at that, 1%. They keep doing these Spider-Mans up to the point that they're not even making a profit anymore. Wow. You think about Econ 101, supply and demand, and if there's some demand, people just keep flooding supply until the numbers come down to the point where no one's making a profit anymore. That's what we're getting to.
Why are Disney investors so bullish then? I mean, if this is then the case.
It's the bubble top, right? Everyone's bullish at the top.
This is the top of the comic movie bubble.
Bob Iger even said, we spent $4 billion buying Marvel. We're not concerned that DC is going to go into the movie business too. So they just have this confidence that you see when these types of bubbles happen. In fact, Jane Wells even said at Comic-Con, a lot of the real interest isn't in the movies anymore. It's about putting it on television.
Comic book bubble. It's about time. They showed the Spider-Man numbers, and the first Spider-Man was like something like 189% ROI, and then it was then it dropped to like half of that, then half of that, and then they came out with the 3 Amazing Spider-Man movies, and the last one, the third one, was 0. And it was just like a straight.
I'm proud to say I have not seen a single one of them.
Well, I saw the first one. And then I think I saw the second one on television, and I skimmed the third one. I haven't seen any of the newer ones.
Well, this is a problem because this is going to destroy half the podcast inventory on iTunes. What will all the guys with comic book podcasts do now?
I don't know why there's so many guys and a lot of tech guys.
Yeah, here's a tech show, and we're going to talk about comic books. It's crazy.
Yeah, tech guys talking about comic books and how they violated the worldview.
It's bad.
Oh, that's funny because in the second Marvel, such and such The worldview was violated. They did this when they couldn't have possibly done that because earlier in the such and such book, they did this and they can't do that again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, you guys are better. Find something else to read. Read some technical documents.
If, in fact, the Jews truly are shapeshifters, and I believe I've presented enough evidence here to prove that they are, then we must unite as a species to fight them and stop their plan of global domination and the control of our freedom.
All right, John. Time to talk about the shape-shifting Jews.
Step right this way.
I had no idea that came from South Park. Did you know that?
I could tell by the voice.
No, but I didn't know that the whole term came from South Park.
Well, I thought we heard somebody testify in Congress in one of these hearings.
Yes.
And so, do you think they got it from South Park?
It must be.
South Park got it from them.
It must be. I think it's an old South Park.
Well, we'd have to look into this. So we'd have to look into the timeline because it might be violated by the latest Marvel cartoon.
So we let's see. We had I think something that qualifies possibly as a one in a series, a 6-week cycle event, which was due right around this time, was it not?
It was due on the 15th.
I believe.
And it happened on the 15th. You're talking about the phony baloney FBI busted that guy?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right on the 15th, right on the money.
Do you have a clip of?
No, I couldn't find a clip. It was like these guys the media is going, whatever. It's become a joke, the 6-week cycle. They're not doing it right.
Yeah,
Comey's just doesn't have a touch.
What was interesting, just to kind of put it out there, as this really was part of one of these mini events for the 6-week cycle. I have the press release from the FBI themselves. Hold on a second. So first of all, FBI. Now we have. This print is a little too small for me. Okay, so the hacking forum known as Dark Code. This is their own press release. Was dismantled and criminal charges have been filed in the Western District of Pennsylvania and elsewhere against 12 individuals associated with the forum. The big announcement: hackers and those who profit from stolen information use underground internet forums to evade law enforcement and target innocent people around the world. This operation is a great example of what international law enforcement can accomplish when we work closely together to neutralize a global cybercrime marketplace. So let's look at these guys. John Anders Gudmunds, a.k.a. Mafi, a.k.a. Krim, a.k.a. Synthete, of Celerbrum, Sweden, 27 years old, charged by indictment with conspiracy to commit computer fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, so he didn't even do it, conspiracy to commit money laundering. Allegedly, he operates his own botnet, this is from the FBI, which at times consisted of more than 50,000 computers, and used his botnet to steal data from the users of those computers on approximately 200 million occasions. Okay. Then the next guy is Morgan C. Culbertson, a.k.a. Android, 20, of Pittsburgh. These are script kiddies. Listen to this. Charged with criminal information with conspiring to send malicious code. Accused of designing Dendroid, a coded malware intended to remotely access, control, and steal data from Google Android cell phones. That's script kiddie stuff. Eric L. Crocker, a.k.a. Fastman, PH.
Wait a minute. Get back up. The conspiring to steal data from phones?
Yeah. I'll read it again.
The FBI's involved?
I know. It's hilarious. Is charged by criminal information. Charged by criminal information with criminal information with conspiring to send malicious code. He's accused of designing Dendroid, a coded malware intended to remotely access, control, and steal data from Google Android cell phones. So he designed Dendroid, and that is conspiring. Then we have Fastman, PH, of Binghamton, New York. Criminal information with sending spam. Ooh. Yeah, you know what? Yes. Spammers is good. Hang him up by his balls. Hate those spammers. Accused of being involved in a scheme involving the use of a Facebook spreader, which infected Facebook users' computers, turning them into bots. Ooh. Crocker sold the use of his botnet to others for the purpose of sending out massive amounts of spam. Ooh. You know, but there's a couple people you can arrest with spam. Just people, and they say, "Oh, you can always unsubscribe from my newsletter."
For sure.
Naveed Ahmed, aka Nav, aka Semaphore, Tampa, Florida. Let's see, and a couple other guys. Philip R.
See, I wasn't even going to. I want you to finish this, but I wasn't going to because there was a bunch of little 2-bit terrorists that were grabbed yesterday.
Oh, I didn't.
There's a guy in France they grabbed yesterday.
Okay.
And there was some other character out of Boston. There was the terrorists, but these were all ISIS inspired. This is what you've got is just a
mini
off the wall.
Yeah. Well, they don't need to finish it. You got to give me the ISIS inspired.
Well, no, the point is that we have seen this and we've discussed it, and then the basic new thesis is a lot of little incidents.
Yeah. Although they tried to make this sound really big, it was big international news. They rolled up dark code forum, and they changed the DNS. Woo! No. It's just, and script kiddies. It's a bunch of kids. Stupid kids.
More kids because there's no work to be had.
They're just morons. Yeah, right. There's morons. Just
blame the economy.
No, that is not a great defense. And they're just
I know they can't use it, but I can say it.
Yes. On cyber for a moment here. This is former Cyber Command director. We have the military as Cyber Command. He's
Cyber Command
Major General Brett Williams. And he said something interesting I think kind of at the beginning of this clip, which I didn't catch the first time, but as I was editing it, I said, that's interesting.
What does the OPM hack say about cybersecurity in America today?
Well, I think what it says is that we haven't all realized that we're past the wake-up call stage. I mean, the wake-up call has occurred. Everybody in the neighborhood.
How many times is a wake-up call? I mean,
exactly.
How many more do we need?
Well, the problem is people are stumbling around in the dark looking for the light switch, and there's been a guy hiding in the closet for 5 months who's putting on his night vision goggles.
Woo! I'm scared now.
Right. And he's stealing the TV and jewelry and walking out the door. My concern is how many of these people are already in places that we really care about. They're preparing.
Did you hear it?
No, you say, Bill, you have to play it again.
Okay, it's just that little bit there. So first of all, the analogy of 128 pages of questionnaire professionally documented for each individual, each of the, almost 23 million people of background information is not the same as the thief walking out with the TV and some jewelry. It's a little different. I mean, right down to your medication, your everything. It's just a big violation. So he's a little cavalier with that. But listen again to what he says here.
People are stumbling around in the dark looking for the light switch, and there's been a guy hiding in the closet for 5 months who's putting on his night vision goggles, and he's stealing the TV and jewelry and walking out the door. My concern is how many of these people are already in places that we really care about. They're
See, and I was like, what he's really saying is how many of these people are in places that we really care about? He's kind of implying that, because, of course, OPM was done by China, right? We all know that. This is the guy who's going to admit, of course, it was done by China. It's only places we care about. I just see it the reverse of the way I think he intended it to sound.
Well, explain more.
So it's places we care about. That's where all of a sudden we're going to have all these attacks from, which, of course, is not true. So we care about China. We care about Russia. We care about North Korea. It doesn't matter where it is. We'll care about it all of a sudden. And then we'll say, oh, yes, we have guys over there in China attacking us.
So this guy was the head of, what is his title?
Well, he's retired.
Okay, he is still working. I mean, he works for IronNet Cybersecurity.
Of course.
And what he calls himself, because you write your own bio, so on LinkedIn, I'm going to read it. Brett Williams, Major General, USAF, retired, cybersecurity thought leader, and president of Operations and Training Division of the IronNet Cybersecurity Company in D.C. Metro. And so he's a thought leader.
Well, all of this comes at a very convenient time for the president's release on July 9th of his fact sheet, the administration's cybersecurity efforts 2015. And they have all these, so this press release has all these highlighted words and parts of sentences highlighted, which I believe that is intended to jump out and tell the reader this is what's important. So why don't I just read the bold bits?
Okay.
And we'll see if it makes any sense. This is, fact sheet. Supported private sector efforts to improve cybersecurity. Gained commitments to address the challenge. White House Summit on Cybersecurity and Consumer Protection. Over 24 companies made commitments. Spurred information sharing. Executive order to encourage the development of information sharing and analysis organizations. Automated sharing of cyber threat indicators. Automated. Cyber information sharing and collaboration program. Cyber Guardian. Proposed new cybersecurity legislation. The President sent Congress a new cybersecurity legislative proposal. Information sharing and data breach notification. I'm just reading the highlights. Enhanced public-private collaboration of public-private tabletop exercises. Whoa, that sounds sexy. Hey, baby, we're doing some tabletop exercises later in the break room. Cybersecurity workshops, open offices in Silicon Valley, software and supply chain assurance forum. Establish partnerships to secure technology, stakeholder engagement on cybersecurity and digital ecosystem. Initiated a multi-stakeholder process on vulnerability research disclosure. National Security Center of Excellence. Protected consumers. Identity ecosystem framework. Buy Secure initiative. I'm only halfway through the document. And then we had eGov Cyber. Adopted more secure technologies. Federal cybersecurity civilian strategy. Deployed new capabilities. Einstein 3A. Accelerate phase 2 of the continuous diagnostics and mitigation program. These people are, everything's public-private, everything's sharing, everything's being automated between the companies we do business with and the government.
Interesting.
It just keeps on going.
Well,
What?
Well, a couple of things.
Okay.
But one of them is, go on.
Well, I was going to say, then there's this Alan Davidson. Ever hear of him?
No.
He is a former Google executive that was just hired. Gee, I wonder if Megan Smith had anything to do with it. Megan Smith, is that her name?
Yeah.
Davidson was... So he is now assuming a newly created position of Director of Digital Economy. And he was... What the hell was he? Oh, so he's been hired by the Commerce Department. Hold on. The Commerce Department is going to be playing a central role on some of the biggest issues that we're going to be facing, from internet governance to surveillance to privacy to patent reform, he said. Whole set of issues where the department has a lot of work to do. But really, what these articles that I'm finding, I think maybe Politico interviewed him. He is saying, I believe in strong encryption. And he believes, let me see if I have a quote here. We believe that encryption is an essential tool, Davidson told guests on Wednesday morning at the Crypto Summit hosted by privacy group Access. Guess they got the deal. But we don't think that's incompatible with public safety. There you go. So
this is a big battle that's going on.
Yeah, oh yeah. But they're stealing Google guys to make it happen. So you have to think that Google is just going, whatever. Just tell us what to do, boss. You don't think?
All right, since we're on this topic, let's play a couple of clips that should be played. I've been amused by the redefining of the data breach that they keep talking about.
This is the OPM data breach?
Well, the big one, the OPM.
That's what I said. The OPM data breach. OPM.
Yeah, every time it's always more.
It's up to 23 million.
This?
Yeah, of course.
You're playing data breach funnier every minute clip.
More than 21 million Americans had personal information stolen from government files in a data breach that was 6 times as large as originally disclosed.
6 times.
The information was hacked from the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, which said today it is highly likely that anyone who went through background checks to apply for a government position since 2000 was affected.
Hey, congratulations and salutations.
Everybody. They might just say everybody who ever tried to get a job with the government.
Yeah.
But it's 6 times larger than she said 21 million. I think now it's up to 22 million. They added a million.
That's a tenth isn't that a tenth of the American workforce?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I don't know. It's a lot. But it's got to be a great file. It's just a way you just This is a cold start to any intelligence. And you want to start a new intelligence agency?
Here it is.
Oh,
yeah.
You got to start a big start right here. Effortless.
You got to
play data breach.
You got a zip file of that?
Joining us to fill in the blanks is Josh Lederman of the Associated Press, who's been covering the story. In terms of scope, we know this is huge, but how is it different from the earlier hacks we've heard about, Josh?
Well, what we're finding out now, Gwen, is not only were many more Americans affected than we previously knew, but just what kinds of data. We're talking about very personal data that most people will be very uncomfortable knowing is out there. We're talking about people's health histories, their criminal histories, their educational and residency backgrounds, as well as interviews that they conducted with members of OPM, the Office of Personnel Management, or other people conducting background checks in the process of applications to get a security clearance.
In fact, all the kinds of information that we're warned to protect with our lives, Social Security numbers, biometric fingerprints.
That's right, as well as usernames and passwords that a lot of these applicants used as they were trying to get their applications.
It's going to be like the pod people where your friend will just all of a sudden disappear and will come back and say, yeah, no, I had an accident and I had some plastic surgery done. It's going to be a spy. This is fantastic.
You might as well play 3.
At the time, I remember there being speculation about who was behind the breach, who the hackers were. Do we have any more indication of who that might have been?
No new indication from the government. Now, many members of Congress, including Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid and others, have said this was China. There have even been federal agencies that have said, without putting their own names on it, we're pretty sure this is China. However, the White House, the Office of Personnel Management today declining to name who was responsible for this, only to say that they believe that these 2 breaches that we know about were by the same person and that they're working behind the scenes to do what needs to be done in response to those breaches.
Excellent.
Inside job, Russian spy.
Yeah, well done, everybody. That's fantastic.
It's hilarious. These guys. I don't think I'm in that file. But.
It's pathetic, really, when you think about it. Let me see. Before we thank some of our producers, I was thinking maybe, let me see. Yeah, just a general short little bit.
Yeah.
About ageism.
Ageism.
You and I are always on the lookout for ageism because it's the one thing that, just always creeps in there.
Everybody's going to encounter it.
And exactly.
Everybody who practices is going to encounter it. They're going to be sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start with, this must have been ABC, I think. This is Cokie Roberts, who used to be hot. And now she has that old lady short haircut. You know what I mean? Like it's
so
really
like Eleanor has an old lady short haircut.
Yeah, except Cokie has curly hair, so it just looks like she's wearing Brillo pads or something. It's not a good look. If I was her stylist, I'd say, Cokie, really, you can't be doing this. Put a cap on that or something. A bowler hat. So they're talking about Hillary and Hillary's plan, what she's going to be campaigning with and on.
That's where she really has a problem, I think. It's not so much the emails and all that, because that's hard for voters to care about. But she's not on her game in these interviews. She's just not there yet. I did think she said one thing that I think we're going to be hearing a lot about. She said what voters care about is who will be there when they need them. And I think that's going to be her theme. And that somewhat plays into the grandmother thing.
Stop. Yeah, I want you to continue. But how old is this clip?
I got it as brand new.
Wow. Because this clip could have been from 2007. Oh, because that was Hillary's ad.
Oh, well, there you go.
The phone ringing, who's going to pick it up?
Right, but that was who's going to pick up the phone at 3 a.m. in the White House, not for the old person who's going to take care of me and I have dementia.
Oh, is that what this is?
That's what this is about.
Oh, I thought she was referring to the country, not individuals. Okay, back it up.
Excuse me. Okay.
Her theme, and that somewhat plays into the grandmother theme.
What?
I said I'm getting old. I can't follow the clips.
You should vote Hillary.
Plays into the grandmother theme because your grandmother is there when you need her, and I think that's a way of dealing with this age issue because that's going to be a real issue.
Okay, so I find that whole conversation to be a little troubling. But more so troubling while this age thing, bordering on ageism, because of course you want your grandmother to be there to take care. Is that how she's going to deal with her age because she's a grandmother now? Is that it? Because her kid has the evil spawn of Satan?
It's funny.
And so I was willing to just disregard this until I saw the president speaking at a conference on ageism. And my ears perked up, as you can imagine. Now, could you explain ageism just so I understand it? Because I may have it all wrong. I may have it all wrong, and I may just be oversensitive being 50.
No, why don't you tell me what you think it is, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
It's discrimination based on age, old or young. I think any age is the way I would look at it.
I think that's right on the money.
And even if it's reverse discrimination, it's still discrimination, right?
Discrimination is discrimination.
Here's the president starting off of this. This is just the first 40 seconds of this conference is formed against ageism. And of course, as always, start off with, hi, everybody.
Welcome to the White House
crap.
Conference on Aging, everybody. I want to especially point out one of my favorite former members of Congress, a legend who's here today, John Dingell.
Woo, John Dingell.
Thank you. John was elected to Congress when he was just 29. An overachiever.
Now, this is not only ageist, it is also sexist. For some reason, when you're 29, you can't be brilliant. I know he's saying it's a positive thing, but really? And if this was a woman...
Well, he's also doing it in a manner that is kind of...
Jokey.
Yeah, it's kind of... There's a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it because
insincere?
But go on.
Insincere?
It is insincere, but it's patronizing. It's just negative.
29 is not like, wow. It may even be meaning like, took you to 29. I was brilliant at 23.
Hey, most of the CEOs in Silicon Valley are less old than 29.
Yeah, snarky, jocular, condescending.
It's slightly condescending.
Okay. But then also saying overachiever. If this Dingleberry, if he was a woman, then it would be a huge sexist comment. Because of course, a woman, when she excels, then she's an overachiever. So if you can
or if it was black guy,
right? Exactly. So it is an ism, no matter which way you look at it. But then, and this is still the same opening 40 seconds.
Last week, John turned 89, so we want to wish John a happy birthday. He's been a retiree for 6 months, but he's keeping busy. Just check out his Twitter feed if you don't believe me.
See?
He's still got some pretty strong opinions.
Still, because even though you're old, you might barely have some pretty strong opinions, old man, with your Twitter feed. Ha 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 ha. So that's the first 40 seconds of this whole conference.
Yeah.
Screw that guy.
I
think what happened is...
isolating, pointing out an old person. Oh, look at this guy.
I think what happened is they put the second Obama, who was kicking ass and singing in church and stuff, and then they put this one, the Obama 1 is back, but he's trying to keep up with Obama 2.
Could be. That would make sense.
Don't you feel that?
Well, I haven't really seen this Obama back. I haven't been following Obama that closely.
Oh, man. Well, okay. Listen to this.
I heard him do his thing about why they have to vote, why they can't. When we talk the Iranian thing, we'll discuss.
Before you get to that, just listen to the president. He was at the NAACP. I think was a big lustrum, a big anniversary for the NAACP. Like
yes, I believe
90 years or 100 years or something.
Some long time.
And here he is.
And it's not just senators. This is a cause that's bringing people in both houses of Congress together.
So he's doing opposites. So he's saying that this cause is bringing the right and the left together.
Okay.
It's created some unlikely bedfellows.
Unlikely bedfellows.
You've got Van Jones and Newt Gingrich. You've got Americans for Tax Reform and the ACLU.
And then?
You've got the NAACP and the Koch brothers.
So it's like the white assholes and the black people.
Koch brothers!
Jeez.
Yeah, but he does defend it. It's kind of interesting because the crowd goes, Aah!
You've got the NAACP and the Koch brothers.
Fuck the white rich man!
No, you got to give them credit.
Give them credit.
You got to call it like you see it.
Everyone's laughing. Hey, Obama made another good joke about those a-holes.
Call it like you see it?
Yeah, call it like you see it.
What is he calling?
That the Koch brothers are good guys. And they're able to...
who knows?
Yeah, we really don't know what he meant exactly. But, it's like, this has got to be the original Obama. Don't you think?
I'd have to see more of it, but he's. I know one of the Obamas.
Yeah.
Of the twins.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you're listening to the show for the first time or thinking of this conversation. One of them shouts when he talks, and that guy there is shouting.
Okay, so this we'll call him Obama S.
Yeah, the shouter.
The shouter. But we don't have to identify the other guy then. But the other guy is...
I think the other guy's the second stringer. I think he's the guy who just comes in as a body double and in situations where he could get shot.
This is where people go, I can't listen to this show. This is just too crazy.
Yeah. I can't listen to this show. These guys are nuts.
That's right. Well, with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, John C., where the C stands for Crusher Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Adam Curry. In the morning, all ships and sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
In the morning to the chat room, everybody, all the human resources who are in and listening to the stream, noagendastream.com. In the morning to Uncle Dave, who created the artwork for episode 738.
And I want to thank Martin JJ for the artwork that was done in the newsletter, which is really a superb piece that was an evergreen piece that the more I look at, the more I say, that is just a nice piece. It's the jigsaw puzzle with the logo over the front, as though we're putting the pieces together.
And he had, let's see, what did he do? Oh, of course, he did the eagle. The eagle trying to grab the kitten.
Which was screaming.
Wow, you're really cutting out, John.
Oh.
Can you just talk for a second so I can see what's going on?
Yeah, testing.
Man, you went down to like zero dog biscuits.
I don't know why this thing, can I turn the volume back up? Maybe I'll get some more gain. Mm-hmm. How about this?
Yeah, well, you're hammering it now.
Well, I'll go
No,
back
it's okay. No. Up a dog biscuit.
Dog biscuit.
Dog biscuit. Yeah.
Up one. It seems like dog biscuits.
Are you sure there's not some kind of automatic thing that somehow got switched on? I mean, it could happen. I don't want to blame you. I really don't. In fact,
you do it anyway.
As big cities were making plans for July 4th celebrations, the FBI was making arrests. Some of those rounded up, the FBI says, were talking about killing people during the holiday.
There is a device, almost a devil on their shoulder all day long saying, kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill, kill.
Kill, kill, kill. We need to kill them.
That's too bad. I thought that was going to be the clip about the bird. I'm sorry.
That was a clip. Yeah, that's a little bit odd.
Yeah,
that clip was interesting because when we get the background on it, it's an overlay of some crazy Get Smart episode.
Here it is. I know what went wrong. Check this out.
You know, I still remember, BB, when I was probably 4 or 5, and you and Miriam and Roxana, my sisters, dressed me up as a bald eagle.
Anybody who has been around bald eagles would say the same thing.
Their pest is Ted Cruz.
We dressed you up like a bald eagle.
On the 4th of July.
They're a pest. They kill kittens. They grab kittens, little puppies.
I mean, I was your giant doll, and you had me walking through the house dressed as a bald eagle.
I didn't know this about the eagles.
Oh, they're a horrible animal.
There you go. A lot of people responded to this.
Yes, I noticed everyone was and most people in agreement. Now, I have to tell one more story then, since you brought it up.
Go.
Apparently, when I was talking about the kitten that my wife saw, she said the topper is that there was a well-known story in the city of Port Angeles at the hospital. The hospital, where there's a bunch of geriatrics and people that are on life support, they have this huge window overlooking the Straits of Juan de Fuca. Mm-hmm. And they're all sitting there looking over, oh, it's so pleasant, so nice. And across their view, apparently gave a bunch of these old farts apoplexy, was a bald eagle carrying a small poodle. And
Fantastic. Is there video? Is there a Vine? We need a Vine.
I wish.
Oh, man. All right.
But then somebody sent a very good video in about this golden eagles, which are slightly heavier.
We're killing two
and they
seagulls.
have better claws, apparently, than the bald eagle.
It's killing seagulls.
Well, the seagull one. Besides that, there's a whole video about them. This one guy taking on a whole herd of goats, and first he knocks one goat off of the cliff, and the goat falls to its death. The eagle goes down to try to eat the damn thing, and all these other goats ramble down there, and they try to ram the eagle to get rid of him, and so he has to keep leaving. He gives up for a while. And then shortly thereafter, he finds the right-sized goat, grabs a live goat, and hauls him off.
You know, so the more I think about it, the more this fits our country exactly. We're like a big-ass, kitten-snatching, poodle-carrying, sheep-killing, freedom-loving people.
Yeah, that's free.
And we look handsome while we do it. There you go. That's why the eagle, the bald eagle, is the symbol of the United States of America.
Dun, da, da, da.
Take that.
All right. Well, we do have some people to thank for show 739. The spreadsheet will open. I'll thank them. First of all, we have an Insta-Night.
Oh, nice.
And this is a very good story. It's a little long, but this is very interesting because we now have a beer.
Yes. I'm going to put this in the show notes, the label.
Yes. He's going to have to send us some labels. He's the Instant Luke Nicholas in Auckland, North Island, New Zealand, $1,000. Gentlemen, it's been a great honor that I joined the round table as an Instant Night. In celebration of this, I have brewed up a batch of beer that will be released following the show 739 at the 8th Annual West Coast IPA Challenge in Wellington, New Zealand.
Bingo, boom, shakalaka.
I'm calling it Epic No Agenda. And the style is an ITM brown ale. It's actually India brown ale or brown IPA, which is, I think, Newcastle's, which is people love, is one of those types of beers. Mm-hmm. There are 10,000 bottles, and it will be available nationwide in New Zealand, and the small amount will be available in specialty beer stores in Australia by the end of the month. I have forwarded a copy of the Epic No Agenda beer label, which might be fun as album art. I'll try to get you some beer, but we may need to tap into the No Agenda network in New Zealand to see if we can find a beer mule traveling to the U.S. anytime soon.
Beer mule?
Beer mule. I'd like to be known as Sir Epic Beer of the hop fields. It would be fun if you could play each of the jingles which featured on the No Agenda label. So when people see that label, by the way, you can go to na.epicbeer.com.
Actually, I'm also... Oh, they have that? So I don't have to do this.
na.epicbeer.com. Check it out.
na.epicbeer.com.
And then listen to this episode.
No. It forwards to No Agenda show.
Oh, okay. Well, it's forwarded to the show 739.
But hold on. Here's what I can do. I'm going to put the... Keep going. I'm going to put it. I'm going to put up a webpage.
Listen to this episode, understand the label, and show a little more. Hit people in the mouth. Shut up already. It's science. Bingo, boom, shakalaka, ITM, and a big scoop of debt reduction karma would be great. So this is what he wants for his jingles.
You're going to have to tell me that again. But okay,
I'm going to ready.
No, hold on.
Hit people in the mouth.
Hold on a second. EpicGrumpyRadio.com. Fuck. Why is it not working? Yeah, I want people to be able to see this. So it's epic.grumpyradio.com. And there you can see it.
How did you get Grumpy Radio?
It's a story, but the friend of mine is running Grand Prix Radio here. It's internet based, and they have the rights to do Formula One reports. But he has an English chick doing all the jingles and the imaging. and it says, "Welcome to Grumpy Radio," and I keep hearing Grumpy Radio.
Oh, Grumpy Radio.
It was a sign from the heavens. Grumpy Radio. I'm like, it's Grumpy Radio. Yeah, I got you. I understand what you're doing here. I got you, Hatsuracha.
So she's saying Grand Prix. It sounds like Grumpy.
Grand Prix Radio.
Well, here's what he needs. He needs the. We already got to hit people in the mouth as part of the final.
But I could do it.
Shut up already. It's science, bingo, boom, shakalaka, and karma.
Okay, Kiki was shut up already. It's science, bingo, boom, shakalaka,
and debt reduction, karma.
Okay, I don't.
Anyway, let me finish.
Yeah.
He said it would be great since he just bought out his business partner and needed to borrow a bunch of money to make it happen. So looking to get this paid back as soon as I can. You keep deconstructing the media, and I'll keep punching people in the mouth with hops. Cheers, Luke Nicholas, Epic Brewing Company, New Zealand. Winner of the Best IPA trophy in the 2015 Australian International Beer Awards.
Guy's no slouch.
No, this guy's a no slouch.
It's fantastic.
We have a lot of brewmasters that listen to the show. That's for sure. We need to pick one to be our official brewmaster, but maybe we don't have to.
Well, so the Epic, by the way, Epic is a registered trademark I see on the bottle. It's 500 milliliters, so it's half a liter of beer. It's got a little 33 on there. Bingo, boom, shakalaka, ITM brown ale. Yeah, it's fantastic.
What is this?
What
crazy
is this
beer?
stuff? Who wants to drink that?
And he's making 10,000 bottles commercially, so this is not going to be some,
This is the real deal, man. John, congratulations. My mom, may she rest in peace, would be proud of me. Mom.
For being part of a beer company.
That's right.
Shut up already. Science.
Bingo, boom, boom, chakalaka, boom, 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 chakalaka, boom, boom.
You've got karma.
All right, great. Look forward to the ceremony for the knighting later today. Nice.
Sir Dwayne Melanson, Duke of the Pacific Northwest, came in with $739 from Tigard, Oregon. Tigard. ITM gents from the Duke of the Pacific Northwest, nice job on the retrospective and interview shows to get a bit of a break. Well deserved. I have successfully hit 2 people in the mouth after a long dry spell and wanted to donate in celebration. Karma to all the knights and dames.
Thank you very much.
Sent a second note in to me saying he's going for Archduke within the next before the end of the year.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your support of the program.
You've got karma.
And of the work.
Kevin Anderson in Milford, Michigan, 33333. I continue my path to knighthood with this donation. We have cut the cord, and I can no longer stand listening to traditional news programs. No Agenda is my only news source, and I'm better for it. I'd like to give a douchebag and Ebola, it's gross, to my mom.
Okay.
Who has listened to NA but still relies on Fox News for her information. She says you talk about diarrhea too much.
What?
That's what I said.
What? I don't think we've ever.
I think it was during our Ebola reportage.
Oh, yes. I'm looking for the, what was it, the NPR chick? Who did that?
Yeah, the Ebola. It's gross.
Ebola. Was it this one?
Give her a douchebag. That's what he wants to do.
Douchebag.
Do that to your mother even.
But I wish I could find the gross one. I think I know what he's talking about, but
it's gross. It's me.
We have so many. Was it Ebola chick or something? Oh, just one more sec. I'd love to find it because I only have the ISO. If you're going Ebola, I have that.
Ebola.
Okay. Well, I'll look for it maybe at the end of the show.
Ebola. Okay. Mr. Pre self-radicalized 33333. Heyo, Casanova and Podfather. If you read my name and location on the air, ignore this line. We didn't read your name or your location.
No.
I'd like to anonymize myself as Mr. Pre-Radicalized for parts unknown. Notes also available here, and he's got some thing. Long-time boner, first-time donors, the saying goes, is long overdue as the No Agenda show has had, and John, you may read this in your announcer voice, a profound positive impact on my life. A couple of years ago, it's the best I can do. A couple of years ago, if I had a cup, I could do better. Actually. A profound positive impact on my life. A couple of years ago, when I finally escaped from the local slave training camp, i.e. began my homeschooling career, my dad introduced the No Agenda show as the central component of my current events curriculum. Hey-o.
Nice.
He first tasked me with episode 200.5, but I admit I started listening at around midnight and actually dozed off halfway through. But the next day, my dad had me analyze the episode on the Leviathan gas field. And after that, I was hooked. Since then, I've pulled No Agenda material for numerous English papers. The show notes are an excellent... By the way, this is absolutely true, and people should take note if you're students. The show notes are an excellent resource for writing essays.
Yes, and you can also go to search.nashownotes.com, archive.noagendanotes.com, and the search is really what nails it, because all of our show notes are all in structured data format with some skip logic, and therefore they are very easily indexed, and that's what we have with search.nashownotes.com. You can find all these links from any show notes page. It's always in there.
He continues. I attribute my acquisition of a high-paying job in the software industry with no more than a homeschooling diploma, in part to the insightful mindset you guys have provided me. Wow, and, of course, the job's karma.
Wow.
Your show provides me with a constant stream of entertainment during my commute. Also, Adam, whenever I see a stop sign or any hexagon for that matter.
Yeah.
I think a stop sign say octagon. I think of how stupid you are for not knowing how many sides it... how many sides it has.
I got you. Nailed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I also recently discovered a security flaw in an online homework system at my college. I was considering ransoming the answer in the form of a No Agenda donation. How much do you think I should ask for? 1,000?
Yeah.
I just have one jingle request. The original unabridged Adam's Gonna Read His Email song.
Adam's gonna read his email. Adam's gonna read his email. Adam's gonna read his email on the No Agenda show.
You know, that email, that warms my heart, John. We made a difference in a young man's life.
I think it's a big deal.
Yes, I'm not being facetious. It warms my heart. It fills my heart with joy.
All right, onward. Yeah, no, we have an unbelievably diverse audience. Another reason we never get sponsorships because we're not targeted.
That's right. We can't target at all. We got to have 1824 females buying records by rap guys.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Okay, here we go.
Amen. Fist bump.
How'd that? Did I get the Kanye with that?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Sir Blake, the knight. Oh, that's right. Sir Blake finally comes in because he's the knight of procrastination.
Yes.
23456 in Los Angeles, California. Night of procrastination to you. A little drunk, a little overdue for donating. Give all the citizens out there some shut up slave mac and cheese, two to the head karma. Zai Zhang Wu.
Hold on a second. Give me that again?
No.
I'm having trouble reading the spreadsheet today.
Yeah. If you told me that earlier, I would be more. I thought you just wanted me to insult myself with the Chinese pronunciation.
No, it's not. It's
shut up, slave.
Yeah. Okay.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Two to the head, karma.
Okay. See, normally when I can't read the spreadsheet for some reason. I'm very sorry about that. And now I can't read ahead and get everything all prepared. So I'm trying. Yeah, I'm going to try and.
I think you're excused. You're in Rotterdam.
Yeah, but I don't like that.
And then the crappy connection here stinks. I got to keep changing things.
Okay.
Shut up, slave.
Did you hear Miles ridiculing my?
Oops, wrong one. See, how did that happen?
You should have let that. What was that?
I don't know.
What's thas? Thigh plus ass equals thas. And after 3 kids, my badge is like the Holland Tunnel. Sometimes I walk around and it sounds like somebody's stirring mac and cheese.
Living the mac and cheese life.
Mac and Cheese by Ayn Rand.
That's television.
You've got karma.
That's right. TV it is.
To give him a Zai Zhang Wu.
Oh, Sheshang Wu is...
Sheshang Wu.
There you go.
Zhang Wu. Zhang Wu. Okay. Finally, last but not least, Sir Kevin Dills, the Knight of the Queen City, sent in a check and a note that he wrote. Encloses a little 200.7 value for value. Episode 736 showed 200.7. Redux was an outstanding product.
Oh, thank you.
I am extremely thankful for the two of you and all the hard work that you do. All I ask for in return is a por la mañana.
That's all he wants?
Thank you for your courage.
Por la mañana. There you go.
Give him a karma with you. Like
I would like to do that. Absolutely.
Bonus.
You've got
bonus.
Karma.
Bonus time.
Bonus.
No agenda show.
You got a bonus.
You got a bonus. Yeah.
Anyway, that concludes our list of the executive and associate executive producers.
Yep.
For show 739, we want to remind people we do have a show coming up. It's a short week on Sunday. Couple of days from now, and that'll be show 740. We still need your help. Dvorak.org/NA.
Yes, and as always, these credits are real. They work just like in Hollywood, so you can put them anywhere where credits are accepted or recognized. Your LinkedIn profile seems to be a very appropriate place. People like to check you out and see what you're doing. And if you are a producer, you actually are a producer. And unlike the phonies in Hollywood, we will, of course, vouch for you.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Of course, we always need you out there supporting us, supporting the work by propagating the formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Hey, citizens.
Shut up, slave.
Can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of
funny,
it.
that's the same beat.
No, he completely manipulated that.
He sped up Obama?
Oh, yeah. He had to cut it all up to make it fit. Absolutely.
Well, that sounds like the same beat to me.
Yeah, but it's excellently done. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's superb.
It's very well done. Very well done. And then I realized that a lot of people probably don't even know what that's from. Do you think people get it by now? I think people who hear it for the first time without the context of the original...
No. We have people that listen to the show and they just give up on that kind of thing. They just give up. What's the point?
Well, yeah. Because what was it? Was it this piece? This?
No. Hey.
You see? Very different. So that was completely
Yeah, you're
cut.
right. You're right. I was fooled by expertise.
It is.
I have to throw a make good in here because I don't know how many times we can do this. But Candace Harris has been writing because we missed, according to her, Brett Harris's Father's Day call out.
I thought we did this twice now.
I thought we did it twice, but we're doing it again because now I'm making a point of it because I know where it is. I'm making a note where it is in case she's, we're still looking for the call out. Brett Harris, hey. She mentioned the last note that he started hearing.
You've got a fine daughter, my friend.
You got a daughter that's persistic. She should go into sales. And happy Father's Day, Brett Harris.
Fantastic. We're sorry if we messed that up. Didn't do it on purpose. Okay. Let's let me lead you into it. I'm going to lead you into it. Lead you into the Iran deal, which was obviously very big news here because it kind of happened in good news time hours, and people are always looking for content during the summer. And so it was on every single channel. I was watching BBC, RTL News, Euro News, Sky News. Then it was all, pretty unanimous in their coverage. So we have a deal. We have a deal.
Deal.
We got a deal. We got a deal. And I was really surprised. Now, who do you think, which Obama is this? Hold on, you tell me. Listen to this. This is an older clip. Which Obama is it? Is it Obama S, which stands for, what does it stand for again?
Shouting
Obama, right. Is Obama S or is it the other Obama?
I think shouting Obama is a better.
Ready?
Yeah.
We can't then ask the police.
Ask the police. So this is the Obama who has the Ebonics. Right?
That is the shouting Obama.
Okay, so the shouting Obama is the guy who says axe.
I think so.
Okay.
We can't then ask the police.
Okay, so that's the shouting Obama. Then this must be the shouting Obama, but he wasn't really shouting, but he was making a point about, if the Iranians, if they don't let us, check out, if they're trying to sneak around and do a back-end deal with uranium. And the visual of this is some guy, in a turban, and he's got a wheelbarrow, and he's like walking out some uranium from the uranium mine. And then the president says something interesting.
There are only so many uranium mines in Iran. And if, in fact, we're counting the amount of uranium that's being mined and suddenly some's missing on the back end.
This is the stuttering Obama.
Well, you almost stepped on the punchline, so I'm going to pull it back. So it can be that the stuttering Obama is also the shouting Obama, who is also the Ebonics Obama.
I don't think so.
Well, listen, he's got it all in here.
There are only so many uranium mines in Iran. And if, in fact, we're counting the amount of uranium that's being mined and suddenly some's missing on the back end, they got some splaining to do.
Yes. Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Wow.
They got some splaining to do.
That is like such an old reference.
But it's not even okay. I mean, we're talking about the Iranians stealing uranium, because if we say Iran, we have to say uranium, I feel. Stealing uranium, and then they got some splaining to do?
They got some splaining to do.
Some splaining to do.
Well,
Come
I didn't
on.
know they were... Okay, this whole thing is completely out of control.
Some splaining to do.
Yes, splaining. This is the other guy. This is not the shouting Obama.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, the splaining to do and the axe stuff is getting on my nerves. It's getting on my nerves.
Bad.
It's
and
really
then the stuttering, lots of stuttering.
Yeah. Now, one thing that is completely being mischaracterized is I hear, and this I guess comes predominantly from the right, but it's all over the place. We're going to give them hundreds of billions of dollars. Why would we do all that? When I just would like to point out that there's $100 billion in frozen assets that will be released. It's their money.
Their money.
It's their money, but it's not being positioned that way. In fact, I've got some really stupid-ass morons.
Play all the stupid crap you can.
Do you like that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me start. Okay. Well, first, during this press conference, this was very interesting. I had to go and watch this on C-SPAN because Major Garrett does he work for ABC?
I believe so.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Major Garrett stands up.
He's going to get banned, by the way, for what you're about to play.
Well, it was a gambit, so I'm not sure how it's going to play out. But I saw spokeshole Josh Earnest sitting right there, reading along with the script and what ABC... Was it ABC? Just make sure he works for ABC.
I'm looking right now.
Okay. What they did is they went to a split screen so you could see Major Garrett. What a great name, by the way. Hey, everybody, top of the hour. Z100 Major Garrett here with...
CBS
FM. Major Garrett with CBS. Interesting. Well, so he is reciting his little script. The president is smirking. So they cut to this screen, and it was an ugly cut, by the way. But they got the one, and the president was smirking and smiling at his question. And then he had a kind of a decent comeback for this because it was meant to eliminate the entire issue. And I completely believe Major Garrett was complicit in this. Completely.
You think this was a setup?
Oh, yes, sir. You don't get to ask questions like that just off the... All the questions are handed in up front.
Okay, you're right. I didn't think about it, but I will say now, absolutely it has to be the case.
So go back, and I have it in the show notes. Go watch the C-SPAN footage where they don't cut away and just see Garrett, side shot. And you see Spokeshole, his eyes are open, but he is reading along with the script. And
making sure he does it right.
And he's not freaking out or making some kind of, how dare you? How very, very dare you? None of that.
Okay. I missed this.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you well know, there are 4 Americans in Iran, 3 held on trumped-up charges, according to your administration, 1 whereabouts unknown. Can you tell the country, sir, why you are content with all the fanfare around this deal to leave the conscience of this nation and the strength of this nation unaccounted for in relation to these 4 Americans? And last week, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said under no circumstances should there be any relief for Iran in terms of ballistic missiles or conventional weapons. It is perceived that that was a last-minute capitulation in these negotiations. Many in the Pentagon feel you've left the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff hung out to dry. Could you comment?
Now, first of all, damn straight. That was good. And that was written. That was pre-written. I've done stuff. I've done interviews. I've done television. He may have even been reading it off a damn prompter for all I know. That was good. Big words.
It was, to be honest, I've heard Garrett do a lot of work, and this is a little different than his normal thing. This is what I don't even think he wrote this.
Oh, no, of course not. But he performed it brilliantly.
Yes.
And the president was ready.
I got to give you credit, Major, for how you craft those questions.
Yeah, what was well written for him.
The notion that
what he really did right there was compliment the writer.
Yeah, that's right.
In an offhanded way.
Yeah.
Questions. The notion that I'm content as I celebrate with American citizens languishing in Iranian jails, Major, that's nonsense.
That's nonsense.
You should know better.
You should know better. Foo, bad boy. You should know better.
You need a spanking.
You do. So we had that. Then we have, yes, I'm going to take you there. I'm going to take you there. And this is very, very sad. This is, thank gosh, that we have the No Agenda show. Because I believe there are a lot of, certainly moms, women, but let's just say moms, grandmoms, sisters, daughters, and yes, young, impressionable women who watch The View and get their news from The View. Oh, and their opinions and their, because of course it's a diverse group. We've got Rosie Perez. Whatever happened to her movie career? What did she do? That she
what
got on.
Didn't she do?
Yeah. Okay. There you go. And then there's
what did she not do?
I forget who the Republican one is. Anyway, here they are. Whoopee, we'll kick it off.
6 nations led by the U.S. just made a comprehensive long-term deal with Iran, and they say it's going to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon and do all kinds of stuff. And, you know, a lot of conversation about this. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What do you think?
Well, you know what I think? I think that we live in a very, very interesting and dangerous and difficult times, and sometimes you have to make your enemies your frenemies. So I understand the necessity.
Iran, you're our frenemies.
For this deal, I have one issue with it.
What's your issue, baby?
The issue is that...
What's your issue, baby?
They are going... They say that we have 24/7 access to Iran and inspections, but they have to tip them off first. Okay? Tipping them off is like, oh, the police are coming, hide the drugs.
That's why she doesn't have a movie career, apparently. Something about hiding drugs.
You know, my mother is from Israel. My entire extended family lives in Jerusalem. This is a topic that is very personal to me.
You can guess what's coming now, can't you?
Oh, God.
You ready for it?
Because my family could be blown away, okay?
And that is Iran's intent. They said it this morning.
I agree.
That's right.
And let me tell you that. I mean, my poor mother is like forwarding me articles like, you know, Iran is a country, they want to get rid of Israel. They deny the Holocaust where half my family was killed.
They won't even say Israel.
They won't say the word Israel. And now you're giving them hundreds of billions of dollars. If you think they're going to be building schools with this money, you're wrong. This is money that's going to be going towards weapons and towards murder to me.
Damn.
Raven Simone.
Oh, is that Raven Simone? But that was Rosie Perez. I'm sure.
No, there was just Rosie Perez before that. Then it was Raven Simone who said the Jewish thing.
Oh, in the background, but it was some white chick who's talking about her extended family in Israel.
Oh, that would be Nicole Wallace.
There you go. And
Nicole Wallace was just fired.
Oh, really? And
so she said something wrong.
Okay, then this was my favorite clip out of all of this. So are you ready for this? I mean, you need tissues. You're gonna. It's a tearjerker. Tearjerker clip of the day.
Fantastic.
This is Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs, Wendy Sherman. And Wendy was part of the team. As you know, we applaud the efforts of the team, the successful efforts, the valiant work done by Watermelon Head John Kerry, Mouffant Fontefanti. That's our guy, right? Mouffant, the hair guy,
right? That
Mouffant,
guy,
yeah,
the Bouffant guy,
Mouffant, and Wendy Sherman, who, I mean, she's just given it all that she can, and she's a true patriot, ladies and gentlemen. Wendy Sherman is, along with John F. Kerry.
Sit down, or I'll break into tears. The tears are largely exhaustion. Doing these kind.
Did you hear that? She worked so hard, John. She's exhausted. Yeah. She's crying.
Where was this meeting?
No, this is the press announcement.
I'm saying when she was working hard, wasn't she like in some fancy hotel?
Vienna? Was it Vienna? Yeah, I think it's Vienna.
Yeah, some fancy place in Vienna, and they were just...
She's going to give us some inside info.
Largely exhaustion. Okay, doing these kinds of negotiations is absolutely positively draining. After the cameras left, each of the ministers made a statement about what this meant to them. And the Secretary of State was the last person to speak. And he went through his remarks, which were moving in and of themselves. All of the remarks by all of the ministers, including Minister Zarif, were very moving, because it was in private and it was about what this deal meant to them. So at the end of it, Secretary Kerry, completely impromptu, said, "When I was 22, I went to war." And then he choked up, sort of like I did a few minutes ago. He couldn't get the words out. And everybody was completely spellbound. And he sort of got his voice and said, "I went to war, and it became clear to me that I never wanted to go to war again." That's what this was all about.
It was all about John Kerry.
Trying to settle these matters through diplomacy and peaceful means. And it was such a moving moment that everybody in that small room applauded, including the Iranian delegation, and everyone had tears in their eyes.
Why does that never happen on camera? That would have been a moment that could have changed the attitude of the world. For all the grief I give these a-holes, for one moment, if it's true, they're real, and then, oh, that was only after all the press was gone. You guys are idiots.
Well, a couple of things. One, they either don't understand media and that actually happened, or the story is bullcrap.
Well, that's very possible. That's probably what I'm thinking. But certainly it's been embellished somewhat. And John Kerry, wait a minute, wasn't this whole Swift boat thing that he claimed he was,
Yeah, it's questionable.
There's some Vietnam veterans may be like, screw that guy.
I have some clips about this.
Do you think he could still announce to run for president? Because he's probably so full of himself, he's ready to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a possibility? Wouldn't that be fantastic if he now joined?
Be great.
Because he saved the world, pretty much. Even though, I will point out that what this really is about, have you seen all the deals that are being put together? Because now Iran, it's not like, I don't know if it's in the deal that they're forced to, but they're just going to be buying all kinds of weaponry. We are going to be stocking these guys up to the max, and they're going to go in to the Middle East and just rubblize.
Well, that's what I think the goal is. But there was a guy they had on Democracy Now! He wrote a book about how we have to be buddies with Iran, and we could kick ass and take care of, we could stop a lot of the action going on there in its tracks. I think a former CIA guy as I listen to this guy, I'm beginning to think, of course, why wouldn't this be the case, what I'm going to say, that there's factions within the CIA that are one thing, and there's other factions that want another.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And this guy is on the faction that I think has not gotten the memo that we want to just destroy the whole area.
We go now.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Which is our thesis. And this would be the first clip, which is the pro-Iranian CIA analyst.
We go now to Vienna, where we're joined again by Flint Leverett, author of Going to Tehran, Why America Must Accept the Islamic Republic of Iran. He's a professor of international affairs at Penn State, served for over a decade in the U.S. government as a senior analyst at the CIA, a Middle East specialist for the State Department, and a senior director for Middle East affairs at the National Security Council. Well, Flint, we spoke yesterday. Today, the deal has been reached. Can you tell us the outlines of it and your reaction to it?
I think the outlines, I would emphasize three main sets of commitments. On the Iranian side, of course, there are a number of commitments spelled out relatively early on in the agreement, all totaled 159 pages with the annexes. But there is a set of commitments that Iran undertakes regarding certain limits on its nuclear activities that will address non-proliferation concerns that the United States and some other countries have had. As an analyst, I have personally never been persuaded that Iran was seeking to build a nuclear weapon. But for those who are concerned about that possibility or that risk, I think this is a very good deal from a non-proliferation standpoint. At the same time, in terms of nuclear commitments, I think Iran has achieved something very significant here, which is basically a recognition of the reality that states have a right to peaceful use of civil nuclear technology in all respects. This is not a right that is granted by the Non-Proliferation Treaty. It is a sovereign right that's recognized by the treaty. From an Iranian perspective, the United States and the Security Council tried for years to deny Iran that right. And now, without Iran having sacrificed it, the international community is recognizing that right. And I think that's an important step on the non-proliferation front as well. The second big set of commitments concerns sanctions relief. In return for Iran accepting these limits on its nuclear capabilities, all international sanctions authorized by the United Nations Security Council are going to be removed. European Union sanctions against Iran will be terminated, and the United States will, the language says, cease implementing its secondary sanctions, the sanctions that it threatens to impose on third countries that do business with Iran. The United States will stop implementing those sanctions, although they are likely to stay authorized in American law for some period of years. The President Obama basically will waive the implementation of those sanctions. So I think that's another second set of commitments.
Okay.
Okay, there's a couple of things that I thought were interesting because nobody else was talking about this.
No, that was a very, very detailed report, actually.
Yes, this guy's good. It's well known, and I think you could confirm this with the atomic rod, that the Iranians have been into a nuclear engineering to an extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly have some of the top scientists in the world working on it.
Just so you know, I sent Atomic Rod the full 128 pages, I think it is, PDF. I know he received it, so he will get back to us for sure.
Good. And they were prohibited from doing the kind of work you need to do. And I think they're working on the backyard nukes and things like that because they have, like somebody mentioned in the other report, that they have these mines and they have the schools and they have a bunch of stuff going on. And it seems to me, and I think part of the CIA would be part of this deal, it seems to me that we're the ones that are promoting them making a bomb.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Because we can sell a lot of stuff if they actually make a bomb, but they keep saying we're not interested in making a bomb. We're doing basic research. And they keep claiming this. It may be a big lie. We believe that it's a big, or some of us, or some of the intelligence community, it's a lie. It's a lie. They're trying to make a bomb, but there's been no evidence of this. And this guy goes on with a couple of more anecdotes that are worth listening to because he's kind of putting this in the proper perspective. But again, he's a pro-Iranian ex-CIA guy, and his perspective is from that clique within the agency, and I believe it's probably a pretty big clique, or this guy wouldn't be writing books and doing all this other stuff. But let's play part 2 of this.
There's a special committee set up to deal with the issue of inspections, with the International Atomic Energy Agency asked to visit a non-nuclear site that it doesn't regularly inspect. And Iran is uncomfortable about that happening. There is now a committee process laid out which will, review why does the IAEA want to come to this site, what is the basis for their concern, what are Iran's concerns about letting the agency in, and we'll weigh those and ultimately adjudicate or arbitrate those kinds of situations.
All right, now this got my attention.
Yep.
What is this site?
I don't know.
They want to go to some non-nuke site that the Iranians don't want them to go to, but they want to go to it.
Oh, wait a minute. I wonder what could
got nothing to do with anything.
Here we
but
go.
They got to go
look
see
over
this.
here. Nothing to see here. Ooh, look at that.
What's that all about?
I don't know. Does he explain it in clip 3?
No, nobody explains it. No, neither side.
No one asks about it either. Of course, wouldn't Amy Goodman say, "Hey, hold on a second"?
Oh, yeah, Amy Goodman's going to say nothing. And I find this to be interesting. There must be something else going on. You got a flying saucer, or who knows?
It's the site of the New Horizons, where they film it, where they film that little milk dud.
There you go.
They spit out milk dud.
So now we have the third part of this. This was actually out of about a 15-minute exposition. This guy's very long-winded. But this little other one, actually, I thought made a very funny point.
I went to work for the U.S. government in 1992 and have been hearing ever since from Israeli intelligence agencies, from U.S. intelligence agencies, that Iran is 3 to 5 years away from being able to build a nuclear weapon. Right. And every year we just push that 3 to 5 year estimate further out. I think at this point we really need to ask ourselves: does Iran really have the intention?
Since 1992, I've noticed this too, and I'm also going to point out, since 1992, it's always been, they're 3 to 5 years out. 1996, they're 3 to 5 years out. 2000, 3 to 5 years out. Does that parallel anything like, if we don't do something about climate change next month, it's the tipping point. It's all over.
Well, here's 3 different clips from the news programs regarding this deal, which I think would be a good point to slip this in here. This is, first we have Bibi Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, and this is just a little bit, the last part of his speech where it was really with the meat and the potatoes of what he was trying to say.
Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, said on March 21st that the deal does not limit Iran's aggression in any way. He said, negotiations with the United States on the nuclear issue and on nothing else. And 3 days ago, he made that clear again. The United States, he said, embodies global arrogance, and the battle against it will continue unabated, even after the nuclear agreement is concluded.
Now, I didn't hear about any of that. Didn't see any statement of that nature. Did people just ignore that? It could have happened, I guess, yeah.
Here's what Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Iran's terrorist proxy, Hezbollah, said about sanctions relief, which is a key component of the deal. He said, a rich and strong Iran will be able to stand by its allies and friends in the region more than at any time in the past. Translation? Iran's support for terrorism and subversion will actually increase after the deal.
I love how he does that. Just say, here's what the guy said, and you say it in English, and you say, translation, he wants to kill us. That's fantastic. What a great strategy. Thanks, Bibi.
Yeah, it's a very funny technique.
I hadn't noticed what he was trying to say there.
In addition to filling Iran's terror war chest, this deal repeats the mistakes made with North Korea. There, too, we were assured that inspections and verifications would prevent a rogue regime from developing nuclear weapons. And we all know how that ended.
Did it end with a really shitty movie starring Seth Rogen?
Yes, that's how it ended.
How did it end?
I don't want to see any more Seth Rogen movies.
What is he trying to say? What happened? Has it ended? Did I miss something? Did North Korea nuke somebody?
No, not yet. Not yet.
The bottom line of this very bad deal is exactly what
bad deal
Iran's president Rouhani.
That's so Middle Eastern to say that, isn't it? Bad deal. It's a bad deal.
Said today. The international community is removing the sanctions, and Iran is keeping its nuclear program. By not dismantling Iran's nuclear program, in a decade, this deal will give an unreformed, unrepentant, and far richer terrorist regime the capacity to produce many nuclear bombs. In fact, an entire nuclear arsenal with the means to deliver it.
Nice.
What a stunning, historic mistake.
Woo.
Israel is not bound by this deal with Iran. And Israel is not bound by this deal with Iran.
He just repeated himself.
Because Iran continues to seek our destruction. We will always defend ourselves.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So what else is new?
Yeah, and so then we had, what was this, on CNBC, I think. It was a nice question, interview session. Here's a question about Bibi Netanyahu's speech posed to our friend, the head honcho of the Reptilian Party, Zbigniew Brzezinski.
I'm just wondering, you heard Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday say this was one of the darkest days in human history. What was your reaction to that?
Genghis Khan had nothing on this.
I didn't actually...
That was a pretty extreme statement.
Extreme.
He obviously wants to undo the deal. Is he going to succeed?
Are you setting me up?
Yep.
I think it was in character. I think he's not a very serious person. He may entertain the Congress occasionally because some people in Congress like to be entertained, but he's not really a very serious person. He dramatizes, he exaggerates, and I don't think Israel benefits from that.
Wow, he's a clown.
He's a clown.
That's pretty much it is.
I
Entertainer.
agree with that.
Yeah, it's a clown. He's just a clown. And then this was NBC. Lindsey Graham. Yeah, this is kind of funny. This just
apparently wasn't on his agenda.
What makes you think that a President Lindsey Graham would have any more luck than President Obama with Iran?
I'll tell the Iranians you're not going to get a penny as long as you're the largest state sponsor of terrorism. I'll tell the Iranians we're not going to lift the UN arms embargo until you stop toppling your neighbors. I would make sure that you would never leave inspections, take inspections away as long as they were the largest state sponsor of terrorism.
Secretary Kerry says that sounds good. That's a good soundbite, but ultimately it's fantasy. You look at someone like Ronald Reagan, did a nuclear deal with the Soviets, didn't require them to renounce communism.
You know what's a fantasy is to believe that the Ayatollah was building a power plant, not a bomb. A fantasy is to believe that this deal will not lead to a nuclear arms race in the Mideast. A fantasy is to believe that when they chant death to Israel, they're just kidding.
Yep. Rebelize. He's right, though. He's right.
How does the United States, how could he say, we would not let them, or we would not let the UN arms embargo be lifted? We, as though we are the UN. Screw the UN. I mean, it's the UN arms embargo, but we're the puppet masters.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Gee.
Yeah.
You think?
I'm shocked. We have to remember that there is a couple of things here that were not, especially the Republicans and a-holes like Lindsey Graham, they're kind of ignoring. The population of, if I'm not mistaken, but this is off the top of my head, but I do know that this has been repeated a few times, that the population of Iran is, I think, over 50% young people.
Yeah. Yeah, very
high youthful population. They all love the United States. Most of the research indicates this. They're not into these religious guys, but they have to put up with them.
And they all know it's rigged, and they all know it's crap. They all know it.
Yes, and they all wear jeans, and they were cheering because they know now they can get American products.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the reason. They're no less shallow than the millennials.
You know, this is great. We are going to dumb down the entire population of Iran. Within 50 years, they'll all be just stupid iPhone toting,
all be on the iPhone
with a hump in their back,
walking around, bumping into walls. The other thing is that's not discussed enough is that this is going to. Iran has, I think, the fourth richest oil country. They have a lot of reserves, and they have been nickel and diming their own potential using the black market to sell their oil. And it's been, it's one of these deals where it's like a bunch of gangsters. Yeah, we'll give you 50 cents on the dollar. You take it or leave it, because we can get the oil through OPEC cheaper.
Exactly. Oh yeah. And
so now they can enter the regular OPEC oil market at normal prices, which will flood the market.
Well, that's why oil went down.
How many billion?
Didn't oil go down by
barrels a day?
Didn't oil go down by $5 or something a barrel?
Well, it's going to go down more.
Yeah.
And this is like another little thing. If you look at it objectively, this is again, which I've been talking about for a while, targeting Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Saudi Arabia has been put on the list of countries to rubbleize. And we are
up front
dropping this oil price again. And it also screws the Russians, because the Russians are also very dependent on oil prices for their economy. And ever since Snowden, we do everything we can to screw the Russians, and this screws the Russians.
Yep.
So this is a good deal. Now, there's the argument that's been going on with the right wingers on the talk shows about McCain giving over. McCain's bailed on trying to support the other side, and he says, "Yeah, let Obama do his thing." I guess he was briefed.
he's working on the purchasing, how companies can sell and are purchased for the NDAA. It's like a whole thing he's doing. The procurement process. That's what it is. He's real focused on that. Oh yeah, he has no time for this crap.
But there's been this debate. Oh, they say it's an agreement, not a treaty, so the Senate doesn't have to vote on an agreement. It's an agreement, not a treaty. I don't know, but anybody can do this themselves. Go look up the definition of treaty. The definition of treaty. This is a treaty.
Well, treaty is a constitutional
thing. By any definition, it's a treaty.
Yeah.
Because any agreement, the definition of a treaty is an agreement. So saying it's an agreement, not a treaty, is silly. But a treaty is an agreement between two sovereign nations.
I have the legal definition. A treaty is a binding agreement under international law entered by parties who are subject to international law. I think everything applies. Mainly states and international organizations. It is a pact formed between two nations or communities, each with the right of self-government. So far, so good. It is not essential that each party possess the same rights to give force to the treaty. Interesting. Simply that each party have the recognized right of self-government and the power to perform the terms of the treaty. Article 2, Section 2 of the United States Constitution grants power to the president to make treaties with the advice and consent of 2/3 of the Senate. Them's the rules right there. So now do they mean the Senate is just the Senate, not Congress? Not the House of Representatives, only the Senate?
Senate says Senate.
Senate. Let's see. No, that's all we need to know.
So they need 2/3 vote.
2/3 vote.
So they're trying to get, and they know they're not going to get it because there's a bunch of hard-ass Republicans that are going to say, this guy, we don't like Obama, we're voting no.
Yeah, right.
So they're not going to get 2/3, so they've decided to look for bypasses.
They're going to tack pieces on other legislation. Right.
Which is, it's just a chicken shit, typical of the Senate.
Yeah.
It's a chicken shit deal, but this is important that this be done for the reasons outlined. It allows us to sell iPhones to the kids.
They will love
the
us.
Russians to get screwed,
and we can chat with them. So we'll have bring back chat roulette. Iranian.
And it'll also bring back it'll probably boost the Iranian or depress one of the two. It depends. You never know. The market for Persian rugs, which is been kind of.
Thank goodness. This is good news.
Everything's good. It's all good.
Oh, I have to tell you, John. Taxi Eric was dropping me off at when I was going to have lunch with my sister. Yeah. And he said, let's just drive past the hooker, see if Dvorak's theory is right. My goodness. Wow.
Really?
They were, smoking hot. The ones in the window, usually they're not smoking hot. Crazy. And there was a lot of them.
Yeah, well, everything falls into place.
Yeah, so
the theory stands.
Yes.
And proven now.
It's peer-reviewed.
Peer-reviewed.
Don't you think? All right.
the best I can do.
Now, on, I think, Sunday show, we talked about this science article based upon some research that talks about the Moradin minimum, so the minimum sunspot activity, and there is now belief that we will go into a mini ice age around between 2020 and 2033, depending on whose numbers you want to believe. And it kind of caught a little bit of mainstream. I saw some more mainstream publications doing stuff with it, but not really wholeheartedly because, of course, it doesn't really fit into the model. And then I was excited because I saw CNN. Oh, CNN has something. That did a piece on it. This will be great. And now something's popping. And this is what it was. And I have seen it only once at night on CNN, but I got it from the web. This is another one of those pieces, I believe, which is produced by that new department that is making native advertising through the CNN production arm.
Okay.
And I'm just going to play the last 40 seconds of it because it gives you enough of the idea. It's a whole explanation of how the solar patterns work and how the poles flip and then what that means with the 11-year cycle and the 22-year cycle. And the essence you need to know is that we'll be we're at the top, the height now, we're going into the minimum. Then around 2020, there could be so little activity that it would actually get colder.
Right now, the sun is approaching solar maximum, so flares and CMEs are more common than they were a few years ago. This cycle may peak in 2013 or early 2014 and should reach its minimum around 2020, although predictions about the sun are still uncertain. The slower than expected progress of this sunspot cycle has led some to speculate that the next sunspot cycle might be very minimal, with few sunspots even at solar maximum. It is still far too early to know, but even if this is the case, it has happened before and isn't something to worry about. It just means that the sun would briefly be a little closer to the unchanging orb it looks like from the ground.
Well, there you go. Nothing to be alarmed at. It's just some people speculating. Some people are just speculating that it might get really, really cold.
It might.
That's not reporting. That's horrible.
No, it sounds like that thing they play on public broadcasting. Star date 1414. Tonight, a star will be in the sky just above Venus.
I've never seen that. It happens.
It's first spotted by Magellan.
I've never seen that.
No, it's not a scene. It's a radio spot.
Oh, okay. Did you catch that question about Bill Cosby at the president's presser?
No.
Yeah. Whether the president was going to revoke Bill Cosby's Medal of Freedom.
Oh, right. Everyone. Now there's a bunch of people. I noticed this on Twitter. We need 85,000 more votes for the petition to revoke his Medal of Freedom. Can't you guys find something else to do? How important is this? It's just it's baffling to me if people waste their time on this stuff.
Well, the president said something about this without mentioning Cosby's name. But the way at the end of this, I think if you listen carefully enough, you can hear it in his voice. But he was visibly emotional. He was visibly emotional about what he just said. So it's not while he's saying it, but after he's done, and he has a little tagline. He's moved by his own words.
And with respect to the Medal of Freedom, there's no precedent for revoking a medal. We don't have that mechanism. And
by the way, don't we have the term "we stripped him of his medals"? That's the mechanism, isn't it?
I think that's only in the Army.
Oh, okay. Well,
and as you know, I tend to make it a policy not to comment on the specifics of cases where there might still be, if not criminal, then civil issues involved.
Really? Let me see. Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, please.
I'll say this. If you give a woman, or a man for that matter, without his or her knowledge, a drug, and then have sex with that person without consent, that's rape. And I think this country any civilized country should have no tolerance for rape.
You heard he was moved. He was moved, and he was grimacing a little bit. And
what do you think this is?
Well, here's the twisted thing that comes up in my mind. I apologize in advance. What I immediately thought is, what's Larry Sinclair, who has passed polygraphs and who continues to maintain that he had cocaine-fueled sex with the president in a limo. So the only thing I could think of is, someone's got the story, wants to do some kind of outing, and he's going to say, well, because that's well documented in Sinclair's story, they gave me drugs and then raped me. I'm not gay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I did apologize in advance.
Well, what were you apologizing for?
Oh, because it's a shitty sounding story. I don't like people. Rape sucks. Hey, Captain Obvious here to the rescue.
Hello, Captain Obvious.
I'm so sorry. But, I don't know, man. It was just woo.
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things we need to talk about before we go to the break.
Okay.
That were listed on my list of things we're going to maybe talk about on the newsletter.
Okay. Oh, yes, the newsletter. Tick off the boxes, sir.
Well, one of them is somebody specifically asked, because what I asked for people to give us input on what they think we should talk about. Some of the stuff we're never going to talk about because it's not appropriate, it's not interesting, it's not international, it doesn't have any meaning. But there's some stuff that we do need to talk about, and one of them is Bernie Sanders.
Why?
Who is right? Well, I would have said the same thing if I were you.
Well, you're clairvoyant.
You're not here.
Right, gotcha.
Bernie Sanders, and this came because this guy brought it up, or I think it was one of our producers. It was a male. He brought it up, and then I've noticed a big push for him on a couple of news shows, local and otherwise. And then JC's wife, a millennial, asks me about Bernie Sanders. He's supposed to be this great guy.
Oh, it's the Ron Paul grandpa effect.
This is Bernie Sanders Bernie Sanders is an underground phenomenon that you, since you're out of the country, have not noticed because you're not here.
Now that you say it, I recall a thought just passing through my mind briefly, but no, because I'm not there, I was not exposed to enough of it.
It's a big deal.
Cool.
And when the guy first asked me, I said, who gives a shit about Bernie Sanders? The guy's an idiot.
Let's get some things out in the open. First of all, he's an independent or a Republican?
Yes, he's an independent, but he's a Democrat. And he's running for the Democrat Party.
Isn't he a commie?
He's a socialist.
Okay. Commie light.
He's called a socialist by everybody except him. Okay. He just calls himself maybe a progressive. He's definitely from the progressive wing.
Got it.
And but he is, he's getting a lot of ink, not as much as Trump.
Right.
But so we're never going to talk about Trump. All they do is talk about Trump.
The Trump show is fascinating. I love the Trump show.
Yeah, the Trump show is great.
Yeah.
But the Bernie Sanders show is non-trivial, and it is actually a major event that's taking place right now. I don't know where it's headed. We're going to have to start looking into it, but I think we now have to take it seriously.
Okay.
Because it is a group, and it's mostly the young millennials who would come out, and they do vote occasionally. When they do, they find let's vote for that guy.
Well, hold on. Let's make sure it is heard far and wide. Producers of the No Agenda Show, we need your help. But we are trolling for Bernie.
Trolling for Bernie. It's not a bad title.
I know.
Trolling for. I have nothing to add to that. I mean, they want us to talk about it. I just did, and that's all I'm going to do.
Do you have a clip here we need to play?
I said that we have to dig up some crazy old clips, and he's also drawing big crowds. He's drawing Hillary-sized crowds.
Now, do you have a clip here?
I have nothing. Do I have a clip?
You have the 360 pledge signed by Sanders. Is that something else? Colonel Sanders?
This is a different. This is not about his. This is just I would tell you, this has Sanders in it, but this annoys me. I'm going to tell you why after we play the clip.
Democratic presidential candidates Bernie Sanders and Martin O'Malley and Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein have pledged not to accept contributions from fossil fuel companies. The Nation magazine and 350.org called on candidates to sign a pledge not to solicit or accept donations from any oil, gas, or coal company. Hillary Clinton and 14 Republican candidates contacted by the Nation editors have not replied.
Okay.
I do not think, and I go along with this also with that tax pledge that character in the Republican character is pushed on. Yeah, sign the tax pledge.
Yeah, for $1 billion. Yeah.
This is what?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just sneezing. It's just all of a sudden I got I don't know.
You got the tax itch. So the tax pledge, they signed this tax pledge. Oh, he signed it. He didn't sign the tax pledge. We're going after him. I don't believe that a politician should be pre-agreeing to anything like this. I think you might as well, once you sign a pledge to Hitler, the whole thing is, to me, it's abhorrent. I don't think the tax pledge is good. I think the guy should vote their conscience. They should vote what their constituents tell them to do.
Yes.
And their constituents aren't telling them to vote to sign somebody else's pledge that's not in their district. If I'm signing a pledge to some third party, what's the point of that? How is that serving my people?
Well, and you know what? 350. It's 350.
And so Bernie Sanders is a douchebag for signing this thing.
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
It's
his business. And what if a bunch of oil companies have good ideas, or there are a bunch of socialist oil companies that want to give him money? Can't take it. Anyway, that's my little rant.
What difference at this point does it make?
Exactly.
Anyway.
Well,
but we'll work on the Sanders stuff.
Yes, we shall.
Now, the other thing we have to talk about.
Well, can we stick with Hillary stuff for a minute? Not really Hillary.
I'm all in with Hillary.
Yeah, well, it's not really Hillary, quite honestly. I just have this category called Hillary 2016. I put everything in there, but that is in any way related. So I did like this quite a bit. This is Carly Fiorina. And she decided she was going to go out and try and make some news for herself.
Hillary Clinton says in a press conference recently, I'm eager to turn over all the emails so the American people can see. Well, now we know the State Department hasn't turned over all the emails. We also know those emails link Hillary Clinton and the State Department for the first time to the Susan Rice talking points, that this was all a video and a demonstration. Do you remember? We now know on the night of September 11th, the State Department and the White House knew this was a pre-planned terrorist attack. 2 days later, Hillary Clinton stands over the bodies of the fallen and talks about a video. Susan Rice goes on television and says it's a video, it's a demonstration. Hillary Clinton later denies that she had anything to do with those talking points. False. She never revealed a private server in her basement until it was discovered. And then, when it was discovered, she wipes it clean nearly 2 years after she leaves the Department of State. Megyn, I think we now have enough information to understand that Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, has engaged in gross dereliction of duty. She has engaged in a cover-up, and she has blood on her hands.
Blood on her hands.
Blood on
the side. That is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
That's right. Kill that fucker. Gaddafi. Bye-bye. Bye, Felicia. Trump, of course, my man. I called him early on. I said, this is it. I told you, this is the guy.
This is the entertainment king.
And I love him for it. I love the whole show he's put together with Mark Burnett. This, I was a presidential candidate, or whatever the title of the show is going to be. Just love it. And here's Betsy Woodruff. I think she's from Slate magazine. One of the annoying journalists. And she's just admitting something which I feel is horrible. Donald Trump, you can think of him what you want, but if someone declares to run for president, you have to give the guy respect. You have to give him equal respect as you give everybody else. That's not apparently what the journalists, which she counts herself amongst them, it's not the way they're actually operating.
The media, national political reporters that I know and spend time with, have one view of Donald Trump. They see him as a fraudulent, petulant.
Nice Freudian slip there. We see them. I mean, they see him. No, you include yourself, honey.
Donald Trump, we see him, they see him as a fraudulent, petulant, goofball blowhard who's only running for office so reporters will write about him. And that makes reporters not want to write about him. We have resisted as long as possible, but he's polling like crazy.
But what about the people you say who your colleagues who don't really want to write or talk about him? We're calling him a blowhard. What if they're in a bubble? What if they're wrong? What if he is touching a nerve with the Republican primary electorate?
Well, I think to an extent they really are. Look, the majority of national politics reporters live in New York and D.C. in urban areas. They tend to skew left. They don't spend time with Donald Trump fans. And we are all very surprised to see blocks and blocks in Phoenix full of people waiting for hours in 100-degree weather to hear this guy. It is, for most national politics reporters, the love of Trump is baffling, and that is itself a bubble.
Exactly. You are biased. Biased, I tell you. Yes, very biased. Do you think Trump is just hiring extras?
Well, that's what they claim.
It might be. I mean, I still believe
I don't
it's a
think
reality
it's the first time in history that a politician, you don't need extras. You just need to get people there, and then you
with
need
a heartbeat.
Shills.
Yeah, with a heartbeat.
You always need shills. You need at least a dozen of them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Of course.
And you put them in the audience, and then they start yelling and whooping it up and starting to clap, and everyone starts to follow suit. You get a clapping effect. If you have 12 people around the audience spread around, and they all start clapping real loud.
Yeah. And the other way, you get the kind of the crowd effect, not the crowd effect, but the people clap. Oh, I'll just clap too. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a network effect.
Yeah.
Cloud
network effect. Right.
It's a crowd effect.
Final.
And you can get people to whoop it up and give standing O's and do all that sort of thing.
But you can't get this kind of
I guess this guy got up. I better get up.
Here's MSNBC Morning Joe. Now we know Joe is a Republican. Mika, of course, is not, but there seems to be a lot of agreement on the panel there in the morning about the Donald Trump's impact.
I want to follow up on what Nicole said. It's very interesting. Nicole's talking about liberals from California saying Trump has a point. I was talking yesterday about our good friend out in Oregon, Derek, who construction workers who were working on a renovation at his house, they're all independents or Democrats. They're all talking about Trump. And it just doesn't happen that much that you have liberals in San Francisco, you have construction workers in Oregon, you have people all across the Southeast that know this guy gave money to Hillary Clinton, know this guy supported single-payer health care system, that they're supporting him. It is really he's a very, very disruptive force right now.
The only thing I can think of that could be in the cards, just looking at things from a different angle. Of course, he has supported Democrats. Did he not support Hillary Clinton directly with $500,000? There's some report about that. I
think it was somebody pointed out that he's head of a construction company. You give money to everybody.
Okay, possible. The single payer health care is interesting. I didn't know that he was. Well,
I'm single payer.
You're liking my man Trump.
Scam is going on.
You're going to jump on the bandwagon with my boy here, my boy Trump?
Trump?
Yeah, he's my boy.
No, I'm not voting any party, either one of those parties. I think they're both corrupt. I'm voting. I'm going to do
Bernie Sanders.
I'm going to vote for whoever the libertarian guy is. I'll just put my vote down for him. I'm not voting for anybody like that.
Oh, okay. Well,
just another Republican.
Why don't you think of the entertainment value for the show? Guaranteed 4 years. What's wrong with you?
My vote has got nothing to do with that.
Oh, mine does. I want what's best for the show.
You feel that way about your one vote.
I want what's best for the show. It's the ultimate dedication.
Well, you're telling me if Trump, I don't think he could get that far because they'll kill him or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Bush. In fact, play this clip since we're playing these sort of clips. This is kind of a shocker. Play this election update, the money.
Okay.
With Tamara Keith of NPR and Amy Walter of the Cook Political Report. Let's start by looking at the money, the most important part of this, right?
Yes.
In some respects, the top four candidates in terms of money raised, super PAC money as well as nonprofits in one case, and just regular money over the transom. Jeb Bush with 114.
Over the transom. It came over the transom.
You don't step on the money.
Sorry. Back it up.
money as well as nonprofits in one case, and just regular money over the transom. Jeb Bush with $114 million. This is just since they announced for president. Hillary Clinton with $60.6 million. Ted Cruz with $47 million. And Marco Rubio with $43.8. Of course, as we just mentioned, there are 11 others now in the race. But as these four line up, where's the money coming from? What is this telling us about the race?
In almost every case, the super PAC money is more than the candidates actually raised. In fact, Hillary Clinton's the only candidate who's raised more as a candidate than her super PAC raised. It's going to bring up a couple of issues. The first is there used to be this thing in politics where you dropped out of the race after your money ran out, and your money would run out because you weren't winning enough, you didn't have enough momentum. Now there are super PACs very flush with cash that can keep candidates going long after maybe their expiration date.
Absolutely. They could keep candidates going.
Absolutely.
Yep. Ted Cruz has 3 really good friends, or 3 super PACs that can keep him going. And it used to be that there was the dollar primary, and you could look at, well, whose fundraising dollars were the highest. It's hard to even know what to make of these numbers, because some rich person could come out of nowhere, create a nonprofit, we wouldn't even know where the money came from, and blow everybody else out of the water.
But there is one really interesting component to this, and that's why 2016 will be fascinating to watch. The amount of money that Jeb Bush has coming from his super PAC is about $103 million. So that's where, the bulk of that 114 is coming from super PAC. They cannot coordinate with Jeb Bush. They are going to be making decisions that normally a campaign will be making. Now, super PACs have been very good at doing one thing, which is they're a destroying machine, right? They're there to beat up their opponents.
Man, are we a great
Jeb
country
Bush is
or
way
what?
out in front? He just announced recently, and he's got almost 3 times as much, or at least twice as much as Hillary. And she was totally kicking ass. So Bush is the guy they're throwing the money at. I found this to be distressing.
We have a great country. Man, that's so easy. You want to be president? Just get a lot of money. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, they also say something that I've just kind of been fascinated with ever since Stephen Colbert did a super PAC in 2014 as a joke. And that is, you can't coordinate with the candidates.
Campaign,
you got the super PAC, and then you got to just do your own thing.
Is that the honor system? Is the honor system? Like, I promise.
Give me a break.
Kind of like the Chinese wall in the banks.
Give me a break. It's bull crap.
Of course.
No, yeah, Jeb Bush isn't showing up at the office, but some guy they hire a consultant, and they bring him in, and he's supposed to, and he'll channel what Jeb's thinking, and then talk to him the next day on the phone. I mean, there's no way they can enforce this.
Exactly. But it's in general, I think it's just going to be really fun. I mean, it's fun to watch.
Why do they want Bush? And by they, I mean the money.
Because the guy will do whatever they tell him to do. Isn't that always the point? They're like, hey, not with that black guy. That was he didn't do well by us. The Schwarzer. I can just hear him saying it, John. He was all too ego. They want Jeb Bush is zero ego. He has the personality of a dish rag.
Well, there you go. He's got, yeah, definitely. All right, and then on to another topic.
Well, I'll just shut this one down. I'm going to shut this one down with a how easy it is to get the Republicans all riled up. I love this. This is Cuomo's kid on CNN. Ripping unfairly, but it was just interesting to listen to. Ripping
isn't Cuomo's kid a Democrat?
Yeah. So
he said get the Republicans all riled. He's going to rile.
Yeah, he's going to rip Santorum a new a-hole.
Oh, good.
Your Pope says...
Whenever you start a question, your Pope says, you're in for trouble.
Tolerance is the message of Catholicism. When asked about gay marriage and LGBT existence within humanity, he says, who am I to judge? That doesn't work for you. You say you want an amendment that keeps marriage between a man and a woman. Why aren't you more like your Pope?
Well, I don't think the Pope...
This is so devious. Why aren't you more like your Pope? See, this is the hammer.
Such a chicken shit thing to do.
This is such a hammer the Pope has handed to the media Because, the Pope says, who am I to judge? But he's very clear about the definition of marriage, which people, please stop with this topic. It's annoying. It's worse than no.
Your Pope.
Well, I don't think the Pope would support the Pope doesn't support a change in the definition of marriage. I mean, he's been perfectly clear about that.
He said, "Who am I to judge?"
Well, that's not what he said.
Focus on tolerance.
He's been very, very, very clear about standing for the definition of marriage. I don't think there's any question about that. The Pope is simply stating something that is crystal clear in the Christian faith, which is to love the sinner and condemn the sin, but to stand for the truth of what the institution of marriage is. And I think the Pope has been very clear about it.
Yep. Yeah, but you lose you win the battle, but you lose the war without winning.
Yeah, well, Santorum's losing everything. We're sick of him. He's the Harold Stassen of the Republican Party.
There you go.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda.
I actually have a pretty short list here, but let's start with thanking a few people. Nicole Yeager for $100 from Phoenix, Arizona. Sir Brian K, $74.50. We have 2 extra votes that came in for the US of A. I don't know if we count them, they win, but I don't know if we can. Sir Brian K from Phoenix, $74.15, and then some Dame Patricia of Biscayne Bay, who sent a note in. I'm going to read it because she's a dame and she's in Biscayne Bay.
Yeah.
And she says, what does she say? My ancestors who fought the War of 1812 would not forgive me if I missed casting a vote in this replay of the war. She's even a member of the U.S. Daughters of 1812. I didn't even know that was out there.
Oh, nice.
Also requesting job karma for my kids and relationship karma for grandson. Thanks for the balance you provide.
Oh, how nice.
We'll give her a job karma at the end. This will be aimed at you, Dame Patricia.
That's
Paul
right.
Robertson in Upper Track, West Virginia, 70. Interesting. He wants us to tackle the exorbitant U.S. health. We have talked about the health care costs. We'll talk about it again, but not in today's show.
No.
Brian Robert Goshko, Sir Baron, I'm sorry, Baron, not Brian, Baron Robert Goshko in Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada, 6969. Sir James Cates in Virginia Beach, Virginia, 6969. Oops.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, boy, I wasn't expecting that. I can't read the spreadsheet today.
Oh, yeah, well, you're not.
Let me guess. Is it Pelsmakers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Hold on a second. Here we go. What is this? Here we go. What is this?
And in the red corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim, he has a record of 33 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. He is the Grand Duke of Belgium and France, Sir Stephen von Pelsmacher.
Grand Duke Stephen Pelsmacher is one of 2 Grand Dukes. Keep it the great work. Karma works. LGY karma to us both.
Mm-hmm.
Put the LGY in at the end.
Yeah.
James Murray, Huntington Beach, California, 6666. Kevin Key in Holland, Michigan, $66. Sir Brian Warden, I'm pretty sure is a Sir. Downs, Illinois, 6433. Sir James Mann in Ringgold, Louisiana, 5678. And I think Melody came in too on the same thing separately. Let me guess this. Guus van Doorn.
Guus van Doorn. Oh, yes. He's the DV Mega guy. He makes the DV Mega D-Star.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Card. Let me see. What does he say? I can't read it.
Great show. I listen when I'm at work in the evening, but not always because of the difference in time. Why 51 USD? You can guess. And then he says, he's got his PE1 PLM.
That's right. 7-3s from Kilo Fox 5, Sierra Lima, November.
Sir Kevin Payne in Richmond,
You
Virginia.
didn't sign off.
What?
You didn't sign off. I signed off. You got to sign off with your call sign.
Oh, yeah. KJ6 liquid natural gas.
You didn't say 7-3s and you didn't say
7-3.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, I suck as a ham. Sir Kevin, but I don't suck as a ham promoter. I got a lot of people to become hams.
You are an excellent ham promoter.
I'm a ham promoter.
You're an Elmer.
Sir Kevin Payne. Does that mean something?
Yeah.
An Elmer?
Yeah, an Elmer is an older, experienced ham. This is so gay. An older, experienced ham who helps a young ham, get a hang of the ropes. Whatever you.
Jeez, it does sound gay. Sir Christan in Blyton, Lincolnshire, UK, $50. And these are all $50 donors. We're already there. Chris Gromol in Port Ewan, New York, $50. John Camp in Antlers, Oklahoma. Great name for a town. Amitav Hajra in Daleville, Virginia. And what?
Elmer is, is the equivalent of MILF for hams.
Anonymous in Milton, Ontario. Scott Lavender, which is another great name. Not for a city, but for a person. Scott Lavender, private detective. Montgomery, Texas. Chris Slowinski in Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada.
Sir Chris Slowinski.
Sir Chris Slowinski, exactly. Patrick Thomas in Petworth, West Sussex. Kevin Johnson, KJ, in Phoenix, Arizona, 50. John Haller in Missoula, Montana, 50. Owen McGinty in Dunstable, Bedfordshire, UK. A lot of UKs today. Sir Mike Westerfield, $50 out of the blue. Dame Patricia Worthington, I'm sure, in Miami, Florida. Brandon Savoy, parts unknown, $50. Eric Mann in Spring Hill, Florida. John Strag, there's another man. There's a lot of the mans are all in today. John Strag in San Antonio, Texas. And finally, last but not least, Dame Melody Man in Ringo, Louisiana. I want to thank all these folks. And I do have to note the sashes.
Oh, what? Sashes what?
Dame Melody decided she says she's sick and tired of us talking about sashes and doing nothing about it. So she made a couple of giant sashes.
Oh man, do you have a picture?
Handmade medals.
Oh, do you have a picture?
I have to take see photos. I want to send
you have them? You have the actual sashes?
Yes.
This is exciting.
I think it would be best modeled by you since you look like a guy, a European-style guy who should be wearing a sash, and she's got a couple of medals that you can hang from it.
Oh, my! I need to put this in the show notes.
Looking.
This has to be in the show notes. You have to take a picture right after the show.
Okay.
And send it to me. Yeah. Oh,
I want to send you the whole package because I want you to model it.
Of course I will.
I look like a schlub wearing this stuff. You would look perfect.
But
especially with tails.
I have tails. I was just going to say I have tails. Yeah. Perfect. Oh man,
that's dynamite.
So it goes over the tails, right? Out on the outside. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and does it have a little purse at the bottom?
I didn't see the purse.
So it's a sash all the way and then around the middle, or just around the back, or
I think it goes over the cross. It's like from the shoulder to the gut.
Oh, perfect.
Across to the hip,
and then back up over the back.
I don't know.
Well, you're looking at it.
No, it's in a box.
You didn't take it out of the box?
I took the medals out of the box, but I didn't take the sash out of the box.
Medals.
I don't want to mess it up.
Okay, all right, but send me the medals too.
Yeah, the medals are the main thing.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
The medals are just kind of like there's a bottle cap. I mean, it's nothing like, an actual. It's rather close enough.
I need to find my foil. Then I shall pose with that.
Oh,
how dynamite would that be? Maybe if I can borrow someone's saber. I used to fence. I was pretty good.
Saber.
Yeah, I was pretty good.
Are you using the knight, people? I thought you had a saber there. That's a sword.
No, that'll look a little stupid. No, professional. Make it look professional. Okay. Was that it? No.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. We need some more help. So everyone remind people to go to Dvorak.org/NA for show 740 coming up on Sunday live at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Unless I'm mistaken, we only have one today. Nicole Yeager says happy birthday to her boyfriend, Kevin Johnson. And we, of course, say the same from all the staff and management here at the best podcast in the universe. It's your birthday, yeah. Okay, now, the way I read it, we have a make good on the knighting. We knighted Craig Allen Harms as Sir Craig Harris. This is a faux pas of epic proportions.
Yes, we have to re-knight him.
It should have been a knight.
Did we get that $333 things you mentioned that?
Let me finish this. Allow me to finish. I have it here. Don't worry. I have it here. Okay. It's all good. I'm in control, John. So we should have knighted him with his actual name, Sir Craig Allen Harms.
Right.
And
I think the word Harms looks like Harris.
Yeah, and Eric actually says that it was his fault and he just read it wrong. So that's okay. It's all right. It's all good. Craig Allen Harms. But he didn't put it in the knighting portion, but okay. There we go. So I've got that. And then we have Mr. Pre-Self-Radicalized, who had the 333 donation, the 5 threes. Never made for the spreadsheet for 738.
Well, I looked into this.
Okay. Oh. You're going.
This, I believe, was one of those things. This happened a couple of years ago, and it doesn't happen a lot.
Are you arguing with the back office?
Yeah, I am, because it was, I believe, was not on the spreadsheet for another reason. I don't know why Eric's thinking. I think it was actually bumped from the spreadsheet by the PayPal download.
Really?
Because it was an extremely long note. I don't even know how he got the note in there.
Huh.
And I have seen this happen before, where you have this very extreme, not a little long, although I've seen longer, but most of them come in separately when they're
so
really
it didn't
long.
truncate. It truncates everybody except these, and then the really long ones, and then for some reason it barfs on it.
This one didn't truncate. It just barfed on it, and I don't think it ever went through the spreadsheet, because I looked, I found it on the PayPal site, and it should have shown up on the spreadsheet. And I believe it just got, I don't know what to do with this, just don't even put it on. In the download. So it was one of these weird things. It only happens rarely. It's a glitch.
I need some kind of glitch jingle that I can play.
We need a glitch jingle.
This is
even though I said in the newsletter, no glitches, but there you go.
I know. It's annoying.
That was Pepper's mama who suggested dropping that in at the end of
Yeah, very nice. Okay.
That sentence.
So I'd like to have Craig Allen Harms step forward, Mr. Pre-Self-Radicalized. We need Luke Nicholas and Sir James Cates. And Sir James Cates, he has a special request with Black Knight and Baronet of Dude's Name Ben. Okay, I got it. What I need is, there is my sword, the one I travel with. Okay, good enough. All right, gentlemen, all of you have contributed to the best podcast in the universe. The amount of $1,000 more. We could not be any happier and grateful for that. So hereby pronosticate thee, Sir Craig Allen Harms, Sir Mr. Pre-Self-Radicalized, Luke Nicholas, Sir Epic Beer of the Hopfield, and Sir James Cates, Black Knight and Baronet of Dude's Name Ben. For you, gentlemen, we have the prerequisite hookers and blow, red boys and Chardonnay, sake and sushi, malted barley and hops, ass cream with bear fillings, porn stars and pot, cannabis and Cabernet, and as always, we've got our mutton and mead. And thank you all very much. It's nice when people make it through. And Luke Nichols, what a great insight with our beer. I'm so proud. I really am.
That is one of the top things we've experienced so far this year.
And this guy, he's an award-making brewmeister.
Yeah, he won the best IPA trophy. That's a non-trivial beer to make.
I can't wait to taste this. I cannot wait.
Well, these things don't travel well. We're gonna have to go to New Zealand to taste this stuff.
Anyway, let me do the Jobs Karma and the little girl. Yay.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got karma. Yay!
There you go, everybody. Thank you very much. Beautiful. We might want to tell the affiliates we may be running a little long.
Well, we don't want to run too long, but let's. We got a couple of other topics to talk about, including Greece and Guzman.
Yes. The 5,000-foot tunnel.
Yeah. 4,900 feet, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, this has to be discussed, at least for a second. We don't have to go too long. We have a thesis on the No Agenda. One of our we should put up a FAQ.
FAQ, yes. Good idea. Another great idea.
Certain things that we talk was talking about all the time. And this or assumptions that we make.
Okay,
and the assumption we have here is that the Sinaloa cartel was part of a scheme. I mean, it was existing, but it was part of a scheme. And I have further thoughts on this.
Can I just say, I need to say one thing. I believe it's like Citizen X or someone like that is going to be and I for some reason, I feel it's female producer. I don't know why. I just got this from the universe. Who is going to do this fact for us?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. She would probably be one of the people that could do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, because of a deposition and a testimony that was done in a Chicago courtroom of a guy they captured that was a Sinaloa guy, his lawyer got smart and decided to solicit the documents, discovery from the Department of Justice, because the Department of Justice, according to this document, was involved with the Sinaloa cartel. They were going to make them one of the few, if the sole drug supplier in Mexico by running guns. That was what Fast and Furious was about.
Right.
And getting them the kind of way...
Get the pipeline that's shored up.
Yeah, give them... And this all, I believe now, began when Guzman escaped jail the first time. Because everybody says that they walked him out. Some people came in with badges or something, and they just walked him out of the front. And then next thing you know, he's headed
the guy's so arrogant now. He said, I will not walk out. You will put me on a little train on rails.
Let's play this Guzman clip, because it's got one detail in here which kind of backs up this thesis.
With the Mexican narrative that things were looking up for Mexico, that there's all these economic reforms, and that he was tough on cartels. I mean, who better than to make that point and going after the biggest drug lord in the world, Chapo Guzman? I think that is really the biggest hit. I mean, this is an incredible blow, and humiliation to the Mexican president, and embarrassment to the Mexican president.
Is there any sense now that El Chapo is on the outside, how quickly he could be back in control and calling the shots with the cartel?
That's unknown, but I mean, it's there's been a big fight, the internal fight within the Sinaloa cartel. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. The Mexican government has been saying that the cartels are now down to two major cartels: the Sinaloa cartel, another cartel from Jalisco. It'll be interesting to see whether Chapo Guzman can just come in and take over. I think it'll still be a big fight. I mean, his goal is to try to control the Sinaloa cartel, but more than a year has gone by.
So far, so good.
Yeah, really.
So somebody had to bust this guy out because they didn't want him talking, for one thing, and busting our people.
Right.
And the U.S. kept wanting him extradited, and I don't know if they're happy that he got caught in the first place, and it's possible that we want to just kill him to shut him up. We don't know. We'll see, but this is a very interesting story, especially if you consider the no agenda thesis that this is all run as part of a government Justice Department operation. Maybe the CIA is involved.
I always see it so objectively, where I see what's being put out there. You have this CCTV footage inside his cell, and then you see the distance between where the end of the tunnel was and the jail. I mean, the story is so beautifully built, even without any real. We've just seen some images. You know.
Well, no, there was a thing on Gawker where they actually went. I
saw the tunnel on Gawker, of course. How did they get this unprecedented access?
They went down.
I saw it. How did they get this unprecedented access all of a sudden?
I have no idea.
Gawker. Hello, Gawker? Are you kidding me? I mean, really, that's kind of laying it on a little bit thick, don't you think?
Well, it's. Then they have the video from the jail cell where you see him going down. You don't know that he really went down at all. He could have walked out the front door again.
Yeah. I have a quickie here. This is. Are you familiar with Risperdal?
Yes, they advertise it a lot.
Yeah. Do you know what it does?
Does something I don't know.
It's they give it to young boys for ADD or ADHD.
Oh, another one of those.
Yeah, and so what it does is it, as a side effect, listed side effect, you grow breasts.
Oh, right. We talked about this before.
Yeah. Well, now that
we have one of the ads.
Well, now there's this guy, and I have just the tag of the outro of the item. And he's dying, and he has breast cancer. which is
that's
rare.
A complication that's unexpected.
Yeah, well, and here's the tag on the story, which I found. It's a local story, so of course this would never air on the national networks.
Some of Josh's doctors believe a drug he took as a child for ADD may have contributed to his breast cancer. He took it for 12 years, and the drug has shown in some cases to cause male breast development.
Mm-hmm. Bingo, boom, shakalaka. You got breast cancer. If I didn't have enough to worry about with ass cancer.
All right. Well, I was going to do a series of Seed Man mini clips, but I'm not going to do that because we're running out of time. But I do want to play one.
All right.
That has to do with the stories we just gave, which is the Seed Man Fact Rant.
What is this?
Think of this as an evergreen.
Okay. Here we go.
I mean, I'm just laying on you fact, 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 fact. And then I get attacked by Neo Condom.
Neo Condom? Nice. That's good. And that guy's a talent.
You know, I'm appreciating more and more when I hear these mini clips.
Yeah. He's super talented. I know. It's kind of
really funny.
It's kind of crazy that way. I like it, though. I like it. Well, I can save this for Sunday. Maybe that's a good idea. There was a huge party at the White House, a monstrous party. And it was the president was hosting the, hold on a second, I have it here. He was hosting the Library of Congress Gershwin Prize honoring Sir Paul McCartney. Man, everybody was at this event. They even had Mike Myers doing Tom Jones. This thing was off the hook.
That's what you do. You can have some dynamite parties on the taxpayers' back.
You want to just hear this for a second? But now remember, this is Paul McCartney is being honored for the Gershwin Prize. And
does he play at this thing?
Yeah, everyone's playing Beatles songs.
This is a scam.
It's beautiful, and they force the kids to sit there. Malia and Shaquina.
I'm sure
Malika. No, the kids are sitting there. They got grumpy faces. They're scowling. Like, where's Beyonce and Jay-Z, Dad? This sucks balls. All these old guys. What's this white guy singing about my mom? That was I'm telling you, that was the best part.
The next song we like to do is a song I have been itching to do at the White House.
Can you guess it yet?
And I hope the president will forgive me if I sing this one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ha ha! And then the president's leaning over to the kids like, I made sure he sang a song for your mom. He's mouthing that. And then he's lip syncing along. Ugh. Nice party, though. Nice party.
Yeah, well, you weren't invited.
Do you want to hear Jerry Seinfeld? Did a little stand up?
Oh, God. Okay.
It was actually pretty good. I thought it was fun. You don't like it?
It was, but he was there, too.
Do you want me to? I mean, we can do it on Sunday.
Let's save it as a teaser for Sunday.
All right, good. But it's fantastic. And someone should make an archive of all of these videos. It's all on the White House YouTube channel.
Yeah, they should.
But there's so many. I mean, I picked out the plum choices for the show. So that is going to be here on Sunday. Wow, what a tease.
And we'll also have to. I do have some discussion of Greece and a contrarian explanation of what's going on that is unusual.
I'm already.
That'll be for Sunday. It won't be what you've heard before.
Okay, I'm already way in on the kicking the can down the road once again. That's obvious that's what's happening.
Yeah, but there's this one guy, this professor from University of Athens, or Athens University, whatever it's called, advertising. He's got some insight. He's one of the co-founders of this left-wing party that's running the country.
Oh, cool. All right. Good. And I've got a couple things up my sleeve as well. And we'll have some analysis, I think. Anyway, I'll be back at the Crackpot condo, so we'll be back to
fantastic.
Kind of normal. Yeah, I may be a little jet lagged, but until then, coming to you from the central storage of all the Russian oil and gas, Rotterdam, the Netherlands. In the morning, everybody. My name's Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm still waiting for the 12AX7 to warm up so I can sound better, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We'll be back on Sunday right here on No Agenda.
As big cities were making plans for July 4th celebrations, the FBI was making arrests. Some of those rounded up, the FBI says, were talking about killing people during the holiday.
There is a device, almost a devil on their shoulder all day long saying, kill, kill, kill.
Thrill, thrill, thrill.
Kill, kill, kill.
Kill, kill, kill.
We need to kill them.
Make the scene.
We need to kill them.
Knock off the heat.
I hope I'm not too late. I don't know how much of that message got through.
Kill, kill, kill.
We can't then ask the police. They got some splaining to do.
No. Hey.
Government. We make the laws, we print the money, and we breed the super soldiers. So go home, learn to live with it, pay your taxes, and remember, you didn't hear anything about super soldiers.
You know, I still remember, BB, when I was probably 4 or 5, and you and Miriam and Roxana, my sisters, dressed me up as a bald eagle.
Anybody who has been around bald eagles would say the same thing.
They're a pest.
We dressed you up like a bald eagle.
On the 4th of July.
They're a pest. They kill kittens. They grab kittens, little puppies.
I mean, I was your giant doll, and you had me walking through the house dressed as a bald eagle.
I didn't know this about the eagles.
Oh, they're a horrible animal.
No. Hey. No. Hey. Hey. No. Hey, listen. Hey, you're in my house. Hey. Shame on you. You shouldn't be doing this.
Adios, mofo.
The best podcast in the universe.
Amen. Fist bump.
Dvorak.org/NA